I'm out here, bruh. I'm getting it big. And I don't really give a fuck what they did. Because like me, just have your gang. Everybody know. Keep it on. Uh-oh. We like, hey. What's finna? Yo, so Yaz, how about that website?
Oh my God.
Vince, I swear to God.
Oh man. You don't know how
like it's coming out today, right? Like it's good, everything's good to go. Like
I'm about to remove Vince from the stream, yeah.
I was gonna say,
I'm gonna kick him out.
Can we just cut him out real quick? We're gonna put him in the corner.
What happened? I mean, I just was waiting. I just heard that it was dropping today. So,
well, unfortunately, due to circumstances in a pandemic, we have another delay.
Hey, you see how easy that was, but all those disappointed children in Bulgaria that were waiting for the website to drop today.
Listen, I was waiting for it too. Okay, I was one of those children.
They thought we were the new Bulgaria order.
The new Bulgaria order. That is who we are. Hey, all right. So, good morning. I'm trying a couple new things because we getting fancy, y'all. And so, if you notice, I put on this little screen thing that says "Stay tuned," which I saw some other people do, and they kind of had their screens up while they were going live. So I thought it was kind of cool. What you think? You think it's pretty cool? Is this nifty? Does this make a tip?
I like it. I think usually people do that like 5 minutes before the show starts.
Oh,
not 5 minutes after the show starts.
Oh,
but
damn.
I do like it. I think visually it looks great. I love
right.
it. Yeah.
Thank you, Tyrone, for that backhanded compliment. You know what I'm saying? That you're gonna.
It was more like a 1-2 combo. It was
all right, cool. And then I made this screen right here, where it was like supposed to encourage people to. I feel like this screen is so corny, but I'm still putting it up anyway, just because I spent about 13 minutes making it on my phone.
Yeah, but it also gives me those vibes. Like, remember when you were watching Jerry Springer and like it was like the third commercial break, and it would tell you like what's coming up next time. So if you want to send your tape of your crazy life, you can get on Jerry Springer. That's the vibes this is giving me right now.
Do you hate your baby mother? Oh, look at the Jerry Springer show. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Are you sexually?
I'm not John's daddy. I don't know where that kid came from.
Oh man, come on, man. Damn. All right. Well, anyway, good morning, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. We got a lot to discuss and one angry ass to make happy. This is the new Blerd order. Good morning. How y'all doing? What's going on? Oh shoot. That was supposed to be the joint. All right. Well, I think this one is. And yo, don't worry, Steph. It's not like this all the time. Good morning. It's the new Blerd order. All right, so I have a confession. I'm just gonna come right out the gate with it. All I heard this week, everywhere I went, all everybody was talking about was this goddamn this freaking Spider-Man trailer. Now that's normally problematic. It's perfectly fine about the Spider-Man trailer because I'm the hugest, most dedicated Spider-Man fan of them all. The problem is Spider-Man is a movie that I already like. Therefore, you don't have to sell it to me. So when the trailer comes out, it doesn't make me more eager to see the movie because I'm already eager as fuck to see the movie. So all it does is show me what's going to be in the movie. So I, for one, have not watched the trailer, but I'm assuming that everybody else has. Yes, you seen the trailer?
Yes, I saw the trailer.
Okay, yeah, Tyrone, you seen the trailer?
A bunch of times, yeah.
Oh, a bunch of times. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
He's over here OD. And Tyleen, I'm assuming you seen the trailer.
Of course I did, man.
All right, whatever. And our guest, Stephanie Ray of the Black Improv Group, whom dressed up like Storm one time.
Yes.
And looked like really cool. And is here to grace our presence with her excellence. I want y'all to help us welcome in Miss Stephanie Ray. How are you this morning?
Welcome.
Hello. For the record, I've dressed up as Storm a bunch of times, like annually since high school.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, so
yeah. I once won an X-Men costume contest that I didn't know was happening until I got there because I just wore the costume.
Oh,
Yo, hold on. Yo,
great.
so wait a minute. You said you just was going to. It was just a regular Friday for you, and you just happened to be dressed as Storm as usual, and all of a sudden you were in a contest. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Are you possibly dressed as a Marvel character today? Are we?
I
doing
am
Dora
actually,
Milaje?
for the record.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, okay, Wakanda.
What a nighty.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Well, welcome. And I'm assuming, just to kind of in tune with our theme, you did watch this Spider-Man trailer as well. Is that correct?
Oh, always. I would read the script if I could.
What?
I love it.
All right. So we have to come to some resolution here. All right. See, here's the thing. Now, I got a lot of shit for this week because people are saying to me like, bruh, it's just the trailer, number one. Number two, there's nothing in the trailer that you didn't already know. All right. Evidently, even though I haven't seen it, it sounds like Doc Ock, played by one Alfred Molina, did make an appearance in this trailer. I didn't see it, but that's what it sounds like. It sounds like there may have been an additional Spider-Man from the past that may have made an appearance in this trailer. I don't know whether
Not this trailer.
happened or not.
That's not true.
All right, see, all right, 10-4.
Yeah.
See, I've heard plenty of things, but the one thing I have stayed true with is that it doesn't matter because I don't want to see it. You see, Stephanie, for me, like, it's all a spoiler. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever go to a movie, Stephanie, and see, like, the final climatic scene, and you saw that scene in the trailer, and you're in the previews, and you're like, oh, I remember this. You know what I'm saying? And for me, a dude that analyzes things overwhelmingly so, I will sit and deduce throughout the whole movie what the fuck's gonna happen and not enjoy it as a result. So I'm assuming that I'm a rare breed, and you, Stephanie, are nothing like that. Is that correct?
No, I love having my expectations met. I like to know it's going to be good, and then I enjoy the experience of getting there. What I hate is when I expect a movie to be good, and then the ending is trash. So I'd rather know ahead of time, okay, I like where this is going, and I'm going to enjoy the experience of it.
So you happened to admit before the conversation started that you'll read the spoilers. Like,
Yeah.
How can you really enjoy the movie if you really already know what's going to happen? Like, doesn't that mess it up for you? I mean, I understand not wanting it to be bad, but it's another thing to know what happens at the end already, or to know what happens in the middle. Like, that doesn't fuck it up for you. Excuse my language.
No, because the vision in my head is not going to be the same as what I'm experiencing in that moment on screen. I can picture it my own way, but I'm not going to know exactly how the director is going to handle it. So Marvel, I really don't need to read spoilers because they never disappoint. But there's some things like Queen and Slim, didn't see it. So glad, because I would not have been a happy camper.
Damn.
That was real quick, Queen and Slim, that one was you go in thinking something, and then like at the end you're like, well, they ruined.
Right.
But good movie though. But I had a question for you on the trailer thing, because you were saying that you don't like to know things are going to happen, and it kind of lessens your enjoyment. Does that happen when you rewatch a movie, like for a second, third, fourth time or whatever? Do you feel like you enjoy it less because you know what's going on? That's and this is not me trying to like dunk on you or anything. This is a serious question. I'm just trying to get to know.
That's exactly what it is.
What did you try to do with that? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like,
I'm trying to get to know you better. We're sitting here. We're sitting here having a coffee. We're talking over coffee. It's like, it's a nice morning. I'm just trying to get to know you better. That's all.
Well, Steph.
Oh, no, that question was for you.
That was for you, dude.
Oh, it was for me? Oh, shit. My bad. What was the question? I wasn't even paying attention.
He's not even listening.
I was like, what?
You know what? Don't remind him of the question. What, brother?
Okay, no. Fuck that.
Fuck that in your face.
Fuck that. No, nigga. What you said, bro.
It's great. I'm gonna start in my sentences when I'm talking to you. I'm gonna start peppering your name in just to make sure you don't like leave the conversation.
Bro, I'm like Trump, bro. I don't it's not. It doesn't happen to apply to me. Anyway,
Vince,
question, please.
the question, Vince, was: do you, Vince, when you're watching movies for the second, third, fourth, fifth time, do you feel that you enjoy them less, Vince? Do you think that does it lessen your enjoyment of it?
Vince.
Oh, is that for me? Oh, my bad. I thought she was talking to the. Nah, of course. If I watch the movie for the second or third time, by that point, I must have really liked it the first time, right? So I can't lose the enjoyment value of it. There's no spoiling of a second watch, you know.
Okay.
I mean, because I've seen it.
So you don't you just want that new experience throughout you don't want to see anything familiar in that first time.
No, bro. I don't want.
I'm honestly just trying to get to know you better. That's all. I'm not coming at you, Vince.
Well, thank you.
I'm not coming at you, Vince.
It's okay,
Not for this one. No, because I don't think you. And you said people have been giving you shit about this the whole week, and I don't think you have deserved to get shit for not watching trailers. I don't necessarily agree that I love trailers, but I don't think you deserve to get shit for not watching them.
Well, here's the thing, Tyrone. It's like if all right, I'm the type of dude that if you're planning a surprise birthday party for me, I want to get surprised. I want to open the door and be like, oh shit, oh my god, oh my god. I don't want to be like, yo, what the fuck is all these cars doing on my street? Like, yo, I'm not going in the store. Yo, tell me what the fuck is going on right now. Like, I'll play along with it. Like, I don't want to know. You know what I'm saying? And I also, like, if I'm reading a book, I don't want to know, like, at the beginning exactly what happens at the end, and then you lead me up to it. I don't want to have spoilers. I want to read, and I want to have the full enjoyment of it that was originally supposed to happen. I don't want it to be one of those things where I was led to, it ended up being a good story, despite the fact that I knew about it all already. I just think that, again, I go back to my example. I see you, Tally. I go back to, let's say movies like, let's take a movie like Alien, right? Remember Alien with Sigourney Weaver, right? Could you imagine, like, if you remember in the first one where the alien pumped out an old boy chest, you know, what I'm saying, hello, my baby, hello, my. Now that was, and that was fucked up. And then at the end, you know, she ends up throwing that big ass alien into that fire. If they had showed that on the previews, it would have taken away from that climatic scene. When I saw it in the theater, or when I saw it, you know, sneaking on to watch HBO late at night, then it wouldn't have had no impact. But since I see it for the first time when I'm watching the movie, it makes the movie that much more enjoyable for me, at least. I don't know. With Tyleen, what you were saying?
I'm going to use your example because you were saying how, you know, you don't want to come outside. You want to be surprised. You don't want to know that the party is going on. That's all well and good if you're not the party planner. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I mean? Like in this case, you're the party planner. We do a show that does trailer reviews, bro. Like you could be over here still talking about, I can't do it. You're the party planner. You're the one planning the party. Like you gotta know that there's a party to plan the party. So like, this idea that I don't like spoilers, but I do a show that we do reviews. No, sir. No. You got to watch the shit because we're up here talking about a trailer that you haven't even seen.
Okay.
So like it's like everything that we're going to talk about, we can't even really talk about it because we don't want to spoil it for your ass. But
here's what I think we should do. I think we should all reenact the entire trailer for Vince right now. The entire from beginning to end. You know, we'll hand out parts and stuff. You know what I mean? I'll be Zendaya, obviously.
Yeah. All right. First of all, we are not a review show. We are a show that talks about all shit nerdy, blerdy. We talk about video games. All shit. We talk about anime. We don't just review trailers. You reduced the whole significance of the show down to a movie review.
All we do is review shows. That's all we do.
Well, shows, yeah, but not just movies. And we don't just review trailers. You know what I'm saying? We don't just review trailers. We don't sit there and talk about trailers for 3 hours. Like, what the fuck? Like that. That's not what it is.
But let's be real. We have spent some time talking about very, very serious topics, like whether or not we would perform sex with each other's variants and things like that. So, you know, we've spanned the multiverse of topics. You know, we do deserve some credit for going outside of the box.
Oh wow! Oh, don't forget, Yaz is a godfather as well.
Yeah,
something. That's right. There's no rule saying I can't be, so I'm gonna do it. What's up?
We're breaking down gender barriers. We're breaking down multiversal barriers.
Like you, Stephanie. I also like to have my expectations met. That's why I have sex with my variant on a regular.
I would smash the heck out of my variant.
Thank you, girl.
Listen. I would be outside my variant's house with a boombox in the rain.
Yo,
Listen.
I need that. I need that on a t-shirt. I would smash the heck out of my variant. I think is the best t-shirt ever.
Yo, Stephanie took it a whole step further. At least I know Ty would smash his variant, but
She's serenaded.
Steph is over here trying to court her variant. She's trying to like take her variant out to lunch and try to win her heart back. And
that's real self-love though. Like you want to love yourself and give yourself that companionship and that partnership. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
She's weird. Like, I'm gonna give you what nobody would give you because I'm you. Facts.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the best of me, bitch. Yeah, that's fucking
yeah. Vince, like you surprised me with Foo Fighters, but also we did have that one night down in Flagler where we were like rocking out to that band. Yeah, I'm gonna call you out right now. We were singing Foo Fighters. We were singing Fall Out Boy.
So today we was
Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Whoa, there was no Cyrus. There was no Miley Cyrus. Maybe a little Billy Ray.
Did y'all see Namdi, the little black girl drummer, finally got to do her duet with Dave Grohl? They're like on stage together.
Yes.
Yeah, it happened.
Oh no.
Yeah. Go find it.
That's
post that video to the page.
Okay.
Please post that into the group,
please.
and
we would all like to enjoy that.
But as far as spoilers go, just to kind of since he's trying to like spoil shit and tell people that I sing rock and roll songs at karaoke, which I do. I ain't gonna lie. I do a little Metallica, do a little
nothing wrong with that.
Do a little Puddle of Mud, you know what I'm saying? Do a little Aerosmith, you know what I'm saying? Do a little but in this particular instance, and I'm gonna keep it real, this is mainly true to my heart because I just want, when I see a movie, for that to be the first place something's revealed. You know what I'm saying? Like it, just try it once. Now, my whole philosophy as far as trailers go, I know it's not a popular one. I already know that. I know it ain't like, you know what I'm saying? I actually am convincing folks to not watch trailers because I get it. Trailers are a fun part of seeing the movie in itself. You know, the excitement of it, the building, the seeing what's going to be in it. But if you have ever withheld from watching a trailer for a movie that you're already really excited about, like say The Matrix 4, we're all going to watch Matrix 4. All right. I mean, am I wrong? We're going to watch Matrix 4, right? There's nobody in this room, as trash as I think it's going to be. We're all going to watch Matrix 4. All right. Now, I'm interested in watching that trailer because I want to know if it's not going to be trash, but I know I'm going to watch it, but it's not going to really spoil nothing for me because Matrix, I think, is really complex. Spider-Man, when it's revealing things like who's in it, what they're going to be doing, this, that, and the third, and then they show the visual of it, like I just feel like it's better left in the theater. That's just for me, though. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not the same. But nevertheless, I digress. There was a whole bunch of dope stuff in the trailer, evidently. And one of the things was that we got to see Alfred Molina back in his elements. Now, I mean, that's cool and fine and dandy and all. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that the movie's going to be great, but I don't see any way for them to fuck up this movie if they have all this excitement behind it. I also think that Kevin Feige was pressured to release the trailer. I don't think this shit was quote unquote leaked as they try to make it seem like it was leaked. This was a Hollywood leak. This was a production leak. This was not a Tom Holland, oops, did I say that out loud leak. This is like a, oh shit, we're getting a lot of shit for not releasing the trailer. Let's leak it so that they can shut the fuck up and leave us the fuck alone. And I, for one, could have did without it, but it sounds like it did. It got a lot of folks excited. I mean, Talene, what was your thoughts without revealing shit as you engineer that of the trailer? You know, am I tripping? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm probably the wrong person to ask because you know I don't give two shits about letting stuff go, and I might let everything go if you ask me. Yo, like this is one of the biggest movies of the year, one of the biggest anticipated movies of the year. So, like, for us not to want to watch this trailer, I know your reasoning behind it, but
right.
But you know, as long as we've waited for Marvel, period. Just, you know, we just got Black Widow. You know what I mean? Like, we've been waiting for a lot of Marvel throughout this pandemic. And, you know, like, it makes sense to start posting all of this stuff because we're about to get flooded. It looks like, you know, we got movies lined up for, you know, all the way up until next year.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm here for it. You know, I mean, I've been waiting patiently. We've gotten our series, as you're showing right now. We've gotten all of the series that we've been able to take in, and I mean, damn, we were waiting. We've been waiting for cinematics, and here we are. And you know, it's sad that you took the high road and decided not to watch it because you missed a really exciting trailer. I mean, just I don't know where you get, you know, them showing the whole movie because they showed, you know, spotlighted parts of the movie. But again, these are things that you would have known without you watching the trailer, just because there's no way that you're not going to have social media. And at some point, somebody's going to spoil and say, "Hey, Doctor Strange! Oh, I can't wait for Doctor Strange." This is shit you already knew, bro, and you're gonna know.
All right,
no way.
All right, let me go ahead, Tyrone. You about to say something, Tyrone?
Am I that obvious when I'm about to speak? Wow, like
yeah,
you picked up on that. See, we know each other so well, Vince. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you to notice that. No, there was a good point made by a podcast doctor. I think that's Phil, but there was a good point made about whether or not Marvel might be using false information to throw us off in the trailer. I think there is an element of that going on, and it wouldn't have been the first time. Infinity War, like you brought up. Also, I mean, think about Iron Man 3. We thought Iron Man 3 was going to be a movie with Ben Kingsley playing the Mandarin, and you know, and the Mandarin being the big bad in that movie, and it was a whole other story. You know what I mean? We've been misled by the stories that they present in trailers before. So you know, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some of this going on.
I would love to hear when you say you think there might be that on this. What in what way do you think that, Tyrone? Or why rather?
Yeah, so without giving too much away, the Doctor Strange elements of it there's some stuff going on there that's not being fully presented to us, because it's all just so you're like, really, this guy? Yeah, so it's I think there's some stuff there that's going to surprise some people.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you care to divulge on your theories here, sir?
Well, I can't go too far without giving you information you may not want to hear.
Stop and go ahead.
Yo, look, man, it don't matter, man. Know what I'm saying? I know Doctor Strange is in the movie, bro. It's all good. But yeah.
Well, Doctor Strange makes a choice in this situation that is out of character for Doctor Strange, and it makes me believe that this is not what it seems on the surface, and that there's an intentional effort to kind of be like, hey, here's the story you're getting, and then that may not be the story we're getting.
Right.
I totally disagree. I totally.
Lisa said he's a variant.
Well, look, because we actually discussed this already, and one thing about me is I said this. I think that Doctor Strange suffers from middle-aged white man disease, which at some point you get this power trip. You have a power trip. The same thing that Tony went through when he decided that it would be a good idea to encase the world in a iron suit. It is the same thing that happens whenever you defeat a force that was seen to be undefeatable. It all comes from that expansive power that you are allotted. That at some point you feel like you can do anything. And I think when Peter came to Doctor Strange and was upset and appealed to his sentimentality, it was like, you know what, this is Peter. I can do it. Somebody told me not to do it, but that which kind of makes me want to do it even more. Because the wink, like if you would have seen the trailer and everything, which again. He was told not to do the spell, and he was like, okay. And then at that point, he gave him a little wink, like, all right, I won't do it. Psych.
See, I thought I had seen a bug fly in his eye at that moment.
Come on.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are you revealing to me today that there's a wink in the trailer? Bro, see, you just fucked up the whole movie.
No, man.
This is exactly fucked up the whole movie. Now I know this nigga's gonna wink at some point in time, and it's gonna throw me off. And we're like, God, See, this is the part where he
winked it up. Oh my god, the wink.
Yeah, no, Agatha showed up and winked. It wasn't even Doctor Strange.
Oh my god.
It was Haggle all along.
All along, bro.
Well, I mean, I have a theory. I haven't even seen the trailer, but one storyline that has yet to have been utilized on the big screen with Spider-Man is Spider-Man as a villain. And if this is a multiversal type of situation, there have been instances in the comic books in which Peter Parker was turned against his loved ones, has turned. I mean, I'm not talking emo Parker. I'm not talking Spider-Man 3 dancing in the street, turn your hair to the left type Parker. No, I'm not talking good dancing, kiss your girl in the face in front of your other girl, Spider-Man. I'm talking about like, oh shit, I'm trying to kill Mary Jane who just got pregnant Parker. Like, this is crazy. Like, I've seen those versions in the Spider-Man comic. Like I said, one of the most traumatizing Spider-Man comics that I read was where he killed the Jackal, because you know he hates to kill Spider-Man, and despite the fact that they don't show him killing in the movies and in the cartoons, he does kill in the comic books a couple times, even if it's inadvertently. One time he killed this guy named the Jackal. The Jackal is such a culprit. This motherfucker put a chip in his brain that made it so that if he kills him, then he would kill the person that meant the most to him. Sure enough, he's like, whatever, bullshit, kills him. The day later, he wakes up with this urge to kill Mary Jane. You know what I'm saying? He goes full Thriller werewolf. You know what I'm saying? He's like, get away, Mary Jane, run. And she starts running. She's pregnant. And it's like, that's a spooky ass scene to watch him in the background, like chasing after Mary Jane. That's some shit that I haven't seen happen that I could see explored in the multiverse. Now, I don't know what that's going to happen this time. I didn't see the trailer, so obviously I don't know whether or not that's happening at this point. But if there's ever a twist, that's a twist for your ass. What's up, Tyrone?
Describing a middle-aged Peter Parker, not a teenage Peter Parker. You just said Mary Jane was pregnant. I don't think she was pregnant in high school. So,
but we also said that this is in the multiverse, if I'm not mistaken, correct? So there might not be just one Peter Parker.
Well, yeah. That the other versions are Tobey Maguire and
right, and they can be. My point is that not that they're going to be chasing Mary Jane. My point is that a villainous Spider-Man could be afoot, because that's one we have yet to explore. All right, we've gotten everybody from 2 Green Goblins, 2 Venoms, Sandman, a Partridge in a Pear Tree. We have not seen Spider-Man function as a villain. So if Spider-Man is going to be in the multiverse, that gives their credence to be an additional Spider-Man for there to have some sort of devious plans or plot and stuff like that. And I think that that's possible, especially after watching Into the Spider-Verse, in which there were multiple Spider-Mans. And I mean, you know, all you gotta do is make one of them have a bad idea, you know. And
you're right, but I think that's quite assumptive to use a movie that has nothing to do with the trailer of this one to describe what could possibly happen. I mean, had you watched the trailer, you would see that there's something in the trailer to allude to there being an evil Spider-Man, but there is a lot of shit other in the trailer, if you watched it, that would have, you know, kind of, you know, like given you a different opinion. But that's assumptive to take that and use that for this. Like, so
you're saying that if I watch the trailer, I'd already know what's going to happen?
No, what I'm saying is you wouldn't make this crazy assumption that there's a bad Spider-Man because there was one in you know, the Enter the Spider-Verse, which was a movie that was done like 4 years ago, however long it was. I mean, like, they have a whole new trailer for the movie that's going on soon, and if you'd have just watched that one, then you could have made all kind of assumptions based on that, not based off of a past movie. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. There are some comic stories though that are probably being explored here that you would probably be familiar with, Vince. So in that way, you know, you may want to avoid whatever spoilers you can, because you probably already know some of the story.
Okay, because this gives me Secret Wars vibes a little bit. Or no, not Secret Wars.
Or like Sinister Six.
Oh shit! Oh yeah. It does. I'm getting that because we got Doc Ock coming back.
We got Electro, we got Doc Ock, and we got Green Goblin, all from the trailer. Well, I mean, not necessarily. Well, yeah, because you saw Lightning, but I mean,
yeah,
but yeah. What else?
Stephanie.
What else you need?
Stephanie,
I'm here all day.
Stephanie.
I am hoping that Ty is correct about there being more to the story that we don't see, because right now I just feel like, Steven, we've been through some things. Like, your friend comes to you with a ridiculous request for a superficial reason, and you're just like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. I have to believe that there's more to it, and it's not that simple, because it's very clear when he makes the choice, this is not going to go well. So I just hope there's more that we did not see.
All right. Well, I hope so too. Yaz, what's your thoughts, man? I mean, you've been paying attention. You've been quiet though. What's your thoughts on this one?
I've just been listening to everyone's everyone's take on it, and I like that you don't like people to ruin the element of your surprise, Vince. That's cool. I get it. But I personally am excited to see this movie, and I don't think the trailer really ruined too much. I think it kind of gave us just enough to drag us along, because we still have a lot of questions. You know what I'm saying? We still have unanswered things. So there's still a lot to come. You know what I mean? And that we are obviously not going to see because they didn't put it in the trailer. But I mean, it was a good dip your toes in kind of little taste. You know what I mean? For everybody, it got me kind of more hyped and ready to see the movie, because I don't know. I'm excited kind of to see what's going to happen with Shang-Chi and how it's all going to connect, and you know what I'm saying? And what we're going to see, you know what I'm saying, to come. So, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm excited. I'm ready for phase 4 of Marvel. I'm sitting back and I'm ready. And I like how they're literally giving us enough, but not too much, where we're okay, so where do we go from here? You know what I'm saying? Because we already have dips where we kind of are questioning things, but I mean, nothing is written in stone. Anything can be changed at any moment. I mean, we saw the timelines break, so we don't know what possibilities are to arise. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know. I mean, Vince, I think you should watch the trailer, because it's not too revealing. It's just literally, like I said, it's when you try out the pool and you dip your toe and you're how cold is this shit? Is this, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's giving you a little taste, it grabs your attention, get ready for what is to come, because we don't know what is to come. We still have Shang-Chi and the Eternals are supposed to technically you know what I'm saying, wrap into this too. So it's giving us a little bit of a taste, and yes, we wanted to see the villains who were going to show up, you know what I'm saying? But we expected though there to be different Spider-Mans in there, and did we see them?
Oh, that's a good question. Hey, I guess not. Well, hey, sounds like you see.
That's what I'm saying. Watch the trailer, because it's not it's ruining stuff. It's just it's dipping your toes in. You know what I'm saying? That's what Marvel does. They love their fucking cliffhangers, and that's what I love about Marvel. That's what we all love about Marvel. They give us the best cliffhangers. They keep us wanting more. They grab our attention and they leave us just damn it, what's gonna happen? I gotta watch it when it comes out. Take my money.
Yeah, there's a string of crack leading to every Marvel movie. is definitely the truth. And thanks, Yaz. That's actually the most sensible depiction of this trailer that I've heard yet. Is look, you describe it more as a teaser, less of a trailer. It's look, right, you know what I'm saying? It's just going, it's going to show Spider-Man. It's oh, you're not gonna be oh my God, Tom Holland is Spider-Man.
Right.
Exactly. Is that what you're telling me right now? You know what I'm saying? I get it. It's not gonna be too over exposing, but sometimes those little breadcrumbs do add up. You know what I'm saying, to a whole meal. But I will say, it does seem like they're at least being careful with it. If you do not watch though, it'll spoil. Sometimes, I don't know if y'all ever had a spoil. Have you ever had something get spoiled for you to the point where it really fucked you up? You wanted to punch somebody? Has that ever happened? I can tell you a time that I had something spoiled, and it really it fucked me up so bad. It really pissed me off so bad. All right, I can't remember exactly what year, but it was the year that The Force Awakens came out, right? Star Wars Force Awakens. And I went to LA to Shanghai Theater. I think it's called Shang something theater. Shang, whatever that popular downtown or Hollywood, to see, it was the premiere. Han Solo was there. Princess Leia was there. I'm calling them by their state.
Right. Yeah.
Harrison Ford was there. Carrie Fisher was there. You know what I'm saying? Lupita, all of them. I got to shake some hands. You know what I'm saying? It's before COVID, so no sanitation necessary. And it was really dope. I mean, I got to saw him walk the red carpet and go to the movie. And I was walking into the movie theater after this whole thing happened. At the time, there was this app called Periscope, which basically is what made Facebook turn into Facebook Live at one point in time, which is how we see some of y'all today. How y'all doing? And on Periscope, I was popping on that bit. You know what I'm saying? I'll be on that bit all day. Like, I was on there like, yo, what's going on? I was live, right? I was like, yo, I'm about to go up into the Star Wars Force Awakens joint. I'm up here in California. You know what I'm saying? What's that? Han Solo what? Oh my God! Somebody put in the comment section Han Solo died. That's all they said. They just put in the comments this is right before I walked into the movie.
Oh
the comment section says Han Solo dies. And I was like, wait, what? Like, it took me a while to process. I was like, is that real? I spent the whole movie saying to myself, man, whatever, they was lying. That's not really gonna happen. Is it really gonna happen? I don't know. It might not. But I didn't enjoy shit. Because all the movie, I was waiting to see whether or not that was true or not. Now, I know that's not the same as watching a trailer. All right, I know that's completely different. There's a big difference between somebody spoiling and saying, "Hey, the kid at the Bruce Willis is a ghost." You know, like there's a big difference between just spoiling the movie and watching the trailer. But I just learned in that instance, and in many instances before that, if you just withhold from watching it, then you just enjoy it more. But that's just me. You know, we don't have to, sit and beat me up about it. Yes, Stephanie.
Well, go ahead, Stephanie. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, can I say one thing that's not in the trailer that I deeply wanted?
Please.
Donald Glover as Miles Morales. Every single part of my identity thirsts for this to happen. And I just feel like the multiverse makes it so possible that if I don't get that, I'm going to be very upset.
Well, here's the thing about Donald Glover in the MCU is that it's very possible that he's already Uncle Aaron.
Yeah, he already is.
Yeah, he's the Prowler. So
he's the voice for the Prowler on the animated, like in the movies. So I mean, like technically, we can't be Miles and the Prowler. You know what I mean?
Well, he was Mahershala Ali was the voice. Mahershala Ali was the voice of the Prowler in Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Correct, but he was. But Donald Glover, just to be clear, he was the voice of Miles Morales in the Spider-Man, the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoons. So he has been the voice of. So I think that's kind of where. And Donald Glover's like a nerd king. All right, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah. Him, and it's like Donald Glover, and who's the other one? There's like two. There's like two nerd. Donald Glover. And the other name is escaping me right now. There's like two like black nerd kings that we can like. Neil deGrasse Tyson is another dude that's on Blerd, Mount Rushmore. But I share your thirst for Donald Glover in the MCU. I do agree wholeheartedly with Tyrone that we have already seen his role in the Miles Morales movie, which is going to be as Uncle Aaron as the Prowler. And I think that actually suits him a little more because, frankly, as much as I love Donald Glover and as much as I love Miles Morales, I do want to see Miles Morales as a long-term casted character. And Donald Glover,
perfect guy.
He's a little older.
Yeah, he's a little older.
Yeah. He's Uncle Aaron. He's not a kid.
He's Uncle and Tylene, excuse me. I don't know why I keep Ty did send us. He did say that he had the perfect person. I think this is how we stopped the show last week.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Once you see this guy, Stephanie, you're gonna be like, you know what? I think I can see him as Miles. I'm telling you, the boy looks like him. He's half. I think I want to say half Puerto Rican or Puerto Rican. So he fits the description to the T.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean he really. I'm telling you, once you see this little dude, he is.
I forget his name.
I agree with TJ. He said Donald Glover needs to give me another season of Atlanta. Yes, hurry up, Donald.
Dizzy Death had a good comment too. Right above
Dizzy,
that.
What you said? Hey Dizzy?
What's up, Dizzy?
Yeah, that would be wild. I'm
Jaden Michael.
What is it?
Jaden Michael.
Okay, yeah, Jaden Michael. I remember we talked about him. I think it was last week, and you did show him, and I was like, yeah, that dude does kind of look exactly like. I don't know, Dizzy. If I could just, I hope they don't reveal Wolverine and Spider-Man. Because that would reveal to me that they're doing too much, and I don't want them to Spider-Man 3 this Spider-Man 3. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the first Spider-Man 3 was horrible. All right, can we agree on that? Like,
Yeah,
it
100%.
did way too much, and they didn't have to. They didn't have to do that much. Like the Spider-Man would have did well with just one villain. It could have been just Sandman. They tried to cram Venom down our throat with a poorly casted Topher Grace as Eddie Brock, and we also had a epilogue of Black Spider-Man via emo Peter, who had like it was way I ain't gonna lie, I think that scene doesn't get as much credit. Yo, that was some good ass choreography.
That was the best scene of the fucking movie. Let's be serious, okay?
Yeah, man,
He made that movie. It's the only reason we talk about it is because
I laughed my ass off so much during that movie. It was the funniest Spider-Man without a doubt, on accident, but it was the funniest Spider-Man.
I think the biggest issue with the Spider-Man was that it had too much going on in the plot. Like, Venom is not a side character. He's not a side nigga, as Yaz would call it. Venom does not need to share the screen with another villain. All right. And Venom also does not need to be casted by somebody who could fall through the cracks in the sidewalk, because Eddie Brock is a huge ass motherfucker, right? Like, I don't want to see the guy from That 70s Show who couldn't keep his
the scrawniest one of all of them too. Like,
man, like, come on, Brad. Like, like, give me a break. Like, so I'm loving it, and so I'm glad that they did do Venom right. I would be more pressed, Dizzy to see Eddie Brock, even if it's an Easter egg. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would not be surprised if they're doing a pan scene in a restaurant somewhere, and somewhere on the TV in the news in the background we see, and meanwhile in Los Angeles, Eddie Brock is, and then they keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, how Marvel just drop that real quick.
Yeah, Easter egg,
off in that business. But I personally think that if they really are doing this, if they're using this to introduce Miles Morales, which I think they should be doing pretty soon, because Marvel moves pretty quick, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I just don't know, unfortunately, Steffi, if it's going to end up being your boy, what's his name, Donald Glover. Now, this is the guy. Let me put him up on the screen real quick if I can. This is the guy that Ty is saying would be perfect as Miles Morales.
Absolutely.
I honestly, when you look at him at first, you're like, yeah, I could definitely see it. Let me cut this down, see if I can get this here.
And he's the right age. So, I mean, it's like you literally can do a franchise and build a franchise around him because he's so young. So, yeah.
Yeah. This is him right here. I think, did he just get uploaded? BM. Jaden Michael. Okay. He kind of looks like the dude from the video game. I mean, he's giving me. Yeah.
That's Miles all day for me.
I can see it. I can see it.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
Come on, bro. You don't want the dude from the This Is America video to play Miles Morales.
We totally do.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Here's what you really want. I'm gonna tell you what you want, Stephanie.
He can sing too. Come on, he fits the bill. Like,
I mean, Donald's like 35, isn't he? Like, he's like 30 something years old.
Okay, and Toby played a teenage kid at 35. So
I need to
everyone on Gossip Girl is like 52.
I'm done with it. I'm done.
All right. So Donald Glover is 30.
Black don't crack.
He's 38.
He's 30.
Right, he's 38 years old.
I want a 38-year-old man to play.
He only 3 years older than Toby was when he played Spider-Man. It'll be okay.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, you don't want Spider-Man. You don't want Donald Glover in Miles Morales. You want Donald Glover in your sheets. This movie is not going to change that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because he plays Miles Morales doesn't make him closer to your vagina.
I don't want him close to my vagina.
To be honest, I want to see Donald Glover in the next Charlie Angels film, holding the gun. Like, I want to see. I'm scared for it.
You don't see him as a Charlie. You see him as an angel. Damn.
He already did the pose. Yeah.
Right. He said.
This is on the cover with the gun like this. Like, yeah, that's it. That's all I want.
Yeah. What if Donald Glover actually ended up being in another season of like Lovecraft Country, or what if he popped up in Wakanda Forever? Would we be okay with that? Like, can we cross the streams? Can we have him in?
That'd be cool.
That would make
you know,
more sense.
I mean, I personally, I'm not a big fan of crossing all of these. It's one thing to be the voice of Thanos and then to turn around and to be Cable. All right, that's different because I don't see you in two different places. It's one thing to be to be Johnny Storm and then take a hiatus and then come back as Captain America. Even though I didn't agree with it at the time, it worked out. You know what I'm saying? But it's another thing to be Miles Morales' uncle and to be, whoever it is in what you call a village in Wakanda, and have to play like I don't know about all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really a big fan of. Now,
I don't see the MCU doing it. Yeah,
Stephanie, Yaz is of the belief. Stephanie, have you seen any of the Venom movies?
I have not, but I'm a little bit familiar.
Familiar with Venom? Okay, so Stephanie, Venom is a movie that is the main character is a guy named Tom Hardy, right?
Yes.
Now I personally
And
think
that's
that Tom
Bane,
Hardy,
right?
huh?
Is he also Bane?
Yes, he is Bane.
Dark
Yes,
Knight Rises.
he is
Yep.
Bane,
I was born in the dark.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yes,
Let me
he
put some
is.
nerd
Here we go.
points in the bank. Hold on. Let me
Yes,
see how many
she
nerd
is.
Oh,
points
I
you
thought
got.
we were about to get a Bane impression from Vince. I was like, I was ready. I thought you were about to do an impression.
Yeah. Nah, I don't. I can't. I got the impression. I don't have any material. I got. We are giving it back to you, the people of Gotham.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's a good Gandalf.
You got my back. Yes, with this bullshit ass impression. But no, so Yaz is of the belief, and some others have co-signed her belief.
That's right.
That Tom Hardy is a great Venom, but would also make a great Wolverine at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Now, me personally, Stephanie, I think that's confusing to have one person play two characters in the same universe at the same time. Plus, it shits on the whole entire acting pool. It's like, look, bro, we can't find nobody good enough other than this one guy who we already have in another movie. You know what I'm saying?
It's not that you can't find him. It's just he's just so great.
I think that Tom Hardy to Yaz is Donald Glover to you, Stephanie, and I think that she's low-key just kind of like Googling and oogling over Tom Hardy and just wants to see if she could, like, Tom Hardy would play Storm if in the next upcoming movie. Tom Hardy would be Professor X, Magneto, and everybody. Right now, it doesn't even matter. She just like, look at it. I don't know if I necessarily subscribe to that. What you think about that, Stephanie? Would you put the same guy?
I feel like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is sacred. And of course, I have seen Old Man Logan several times, and I understand where that story went, but my heart has not let go. Hugh Jackman will always be my Wolverine in the same way that Barack Obama will always be my president. And I honestly cannot imagine who could pick up that mantle and carry it the same way. I have no idea.
Oh, well, we know.
Definitely not Zac Efron.
Zac Efron.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. While we're on this subject, it's okay. So the other day, Austin had me see the new Batman trailer. Do you know who the new Batman is?
Robert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see the trailer?
I didn't see the trailer, but
okay. So let's reconvene this next week after we watch that trailer because it just dropped like recently, and he made me watch it because he was like, "You're never gonna guess who the new Batman is." He's like, "You're gonna be pissed," and I was like, "Who?" And he was like, "Watch this trailer," and I was like, "Robert fucking Patterson?" I was like, "The Twilight guy who be shimmering in the fucking daylight?" Yeah. Just watch it. It wasn't all as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I don't know. I wasn't ready. So when this movie drops next year, I'm going to be like sitting front row, like waiting because I'm going to be ready to criticize.
Yeah, I saw that trailer she's referring to, and it is action packed. It does seem as though there's a level of ferocity when it comes to how Robert Pattinson is playing Batman. So I get what she's saying. My thing with the Wolverine Tom Hardy selection is if you're going to have a 40-year-old man, you might as well keep Hugh Jackman. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point in no, you're saying right, but what I'm saying is there's no point if the whole thing was we're gonna kill off this character, you don't bring another mid 40-year-old man to come play the role of Wolverine because then you have to kill him again. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna start over this franchise with fresh faces, then you need a younger man. I'm not saying he has to be 20, but you definitely don't want to get somebody in their 40s who's already showing grays on their beards and stuff like that to play a Wolverine, even though you can dye it and everything like that. You're talking about the long term. If you're looking at the long game, you're not just going to do one Wolverine movie and then that's it. You're going to, you want somebody who you can, invest another 10, 15 years in. So.
That's true. Okay, so I like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yes.
I was gonna say, Lisa. I liked Lisa's comment about Taron Egerton. That's if you guys have seen him. He's Eggsy off of what you call it? What the fuck? Kingsman, yes, off of Kingsman. So I mean, I agree with you, Lisa. He would be. I mean, I would not hate on that. Honestly, I would be okay with him being, just because of how badass of an actor I already know he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've seen his depth in those movies, and I know that he can keep up with the action of Wolverine. But I don't know, like that's gonna be a really hard like bill to just cross off on him. Like, I'm okay with, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's the same thing with Robert Pattinson being Batman. I'm waiting to see how this is going to play out.
I would love to see a fresh new face for sure. Wolverine.
Yeah,
something for the ladies, because again, because Hugh Jackman, when he stepped on the scene,
he was
ladies were
like, yeah, he was jacked. Oh yeah,
oh my God, it's Hugh. You know what I'm saying? So if you could find a young, vibrant, healthy, physical dude, you know what I'm saying, that could come out, and because that's what's selling with those when you're having somebody like a Wolverine, somebody like an Aquaman, somebody like a Thor, like the it's kind of been, and even Chris Evans, you know what I'm saying? Like, they buffed up Chris Evans in the last couple of joints. He was chopping wood. You like,
that's like, oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what, for the ladies when it comes to those type of, because even with Stephanie, she's infatuated with Donald Glover. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, it's not so much that Donald's a great actor. He is a good actor, but it's not that she's like, it's not like, I want him to be Miles Morales because I think he's going to play the best version of
right.
I want him to be Miles Morales because I just want to see him in the tights, and what I mean? What else is
only certain
for the spider print.
Well, only certain people can wear that spandex. You got to remember, you know what I'm saying? So like, and it's about all the aspects, front to back, with the spandex. So it's got to work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. There's not going to be any Academy Awards for his performance in Guava Island. Let's be clear. So we don't know. By the way, if you haven't seen Guava Island, if you want to see a bad,
we don't speak of it.
If you want to see a bad movie, bruh, pull up to Guava Island. Like, if you want to see two of your heroes destroyed on screen, take one Donald Glover, sprinkle in some Rihanna, and make a movie that nobody will ever like because it is like it looks like a fifth grader writ that movie, yo. It's like a Gullah Gullah Island special. It's crazy. But just to kind of go back on what look, we've had this discussion before. We've talked about Wolverine. We've talked about who it should be. Bad time.
Breaking news. Donald Glover in the MCU as the villain, the Print. That's what they call it. They just, I don't know. He must have just got to the MCU. I never heard of this guy. They said he's playing the villain.
But does he wear gray sweatpants? This is very important.
Yeah.
I'm just breaking news.
The way that Ty sucked us all in with that breaking news line, I was like, oh shit, what's the news? This is gonna be good. I was in. He got me hook, line, and sinker with the misdirect.
Yeah. We need a villain called the Print that just wears gray sweatpants.
They already got him.
Yo, did you notice how much closer Stephanie got to the screen?
Go on.
It was like the Print, huh?
Well, listen, we don't need to talk about a person but
they got
this is the most action I've had in a long time, this conversation. As far as Wolverine, I believe he's in the Immortals, but I would put forth just visually Kit Harington. The Eternals, yes, thank you. Kit Harington, Jon Snow. I feel like visually
Oh,
be
yes.
a pleasing Wolverine for me.
100%.
Too late. It's too late because now
Yeah.
he's in the MCU as the Black Knight.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the Black Knight in the MCU.
Yeah,
Vince,
I
you're
agree.
muted.
I agree with you, though. He would have also played a good Wolverine too, like definitely Jon Snow. And we all know him, you know what I'm saying? So like that would have been, you know what I'm saying, like would have been really relatable too. So
Vince, unmute yourself. Vince, unmute yourself.
Yeah,
yeah, you're talking. We see your lips moving, but we can't hear you.
Vince, unmute yourself.
You're muted.
Vince's ears are completely turned off. Vince is receiving no information today.
And he's still talking. Yeah.
Vince,
we
Vince,
can't
unmute
hear
your mic,
you.
Vince. Vince, unmute your mic, Vince. Vince.
Oh, this is what happens when we're on Instagram. You see now you get it. You see now you get it.
I'm gonna translate for Vince. Vince is like, guys, I just watched the Spider-Man trailer. You were right the whole time. I should have been watching trailers for my entire life.
Is that better?
Oh, there he is back. Yeah. So you were saying about watching the trailer.
Back for my mime reenactment. I was just saying that the if you use the Yaz theory, you could have him play Black Knight and play Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even make a difference. They could all be in the same universe. But I don't think y'all like Kit Harington as Wolverine. I think you like Kit Harington's hair as Wolverine. Because if he shaved all that off, it probably wouldn't look like he was Wolverine. Young Jon Snow doesn't look as Wolverine as Jon Snow, who ends up going to the wall at the end, who been through the ringer. You know what I'm saying? And plus, I don't know, but it is weird. Am I tripping? Why do all of the Wolverines that we're casting all come from the UK? Like, there's no or from Australia. Like, there haven't been any American Wolverines pitched. Tom Hardy, British.
He's got an accent though. Like you have to keep it up. What do you mean? He's got an accent.
Wolverine is from Ottawa, Canada.
They still have an accent, eh?
Canadian.
Hey, Wolverine's gonna be walking around like, all right, bub. I'm gonna give you a good slash in there, bub. Yeah.
Wolverine, we may as well have the dude that played Jarvis in Agent Carter play Wolverine, bro. I mean, now look, I'm hoping that they do Wolverine right. They better do Miles Morales right, because they will do like that. That's going to be one of the most. I think that the first Miles Morales movie is going to break every record. I honestly do. I think it's going to break the Black Panther record, the Endgame record. It's going to break every single record. But they got to get the casting right. And one of the things about Miles Morales that folks haven't really realized yet is that his love interest is Gwen Stacy. So I'm hoping that doesn't become problematic, because this is going to be all, why do you got to give the white girl to the black? I mean, even Tom Holland is, even MJ's like freaking not even, white anymore. So that's a whole other thing.
I just want to go on record and say I don't have a problem with interracial dating or relationships. Thank you. Yeah, I'm saying not a problem for me.
Woke you is going to come at,
Oh no, that's survival me. That's survival me, because without him, I wouldn't be here. That's not even wokeness. That's just self-interest.
That is true. And I'm
just in case you don't know, Tyrone is part black, part colonizer, and we've all established this, but we still love Mama British, and we haven't met her yet. But
I'd like to give my bid.
Her name is Mama British.
I'd like to give my bid for Wolverine, and I think this dude would kill it. It's fortunate because he's American and British. And that would be Tyrone Thornhill.
That's what I knew it.
Tyrone. I'll do it. And I'll do a British accent just to make it really authentic. I'll make you proud. I'll be a 6'2" brownish Wolverine with a full beard and some long curly hair.
There you go.
Oh, yo, hold on. Okay, so Lisa just said to look up a guy named Cameron J. Wright. Have any of y'all heard of Cameron J. Wright?
I don't know his name.
Not by name, probably.
All right. I just looked him up. I don't know who this dude is. I guess he's from a Netflix show, Lisa, that's currently on. And I gotta say, he is giving me. He does have that look. He does have that look.
You said
Cameron J. Wright. Now, I'm not familiar with his work as much. But even if you I'm about to put this picture on the screen. Okay. Even if you just look at this picture at first glance, now we're clearly showing that there is some sort of, there's definitely like a look that we're looking for. And there's like it's kind of like a very teeny bopper, but like somebody with clear ethnicity.
Hold up, did you say Cameron J. Wright?
Cameron J. Wright, yes sir.
Is this a little kid?
Yeah, for Miles.
This dude right here.
He's 14 years old.
Miles is like,
I think that's what we was.
Teenager.
For Wolverine? To play Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
are you talking about? You think this is for Wolverine, nigga? Like, this is for Miles.
No, we was talking about him, so that's why I was like, it throw me off. I was like,
okay, yeah. Well, this guy, I don't know, man. I mean, yo, listen, I'm definitely getting if they don't get picked, these two guys to do Miles Morales, they definitely have a shot at whatever the next black boy band is, because I'm getting Pretty Ricky vibes from the two of these dudes.
They're gonna be called Newest Edition.
I would put out Tristan Wilds for Miles Morales.
Tristan Wilds.
Oh boy,
yeah,
I haven't heard that name either.
Yeah, all right. I'm learning. I'm clearly outside.
He was in The Wire.
Oh yeah, Tristan from The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Mac Wilds.
Who did he play in The Wire?
Michael.
Oh shit.
Yeah. He had a song.
How old is he by now? Yeah, that kid's a good actor though.
He's got to be early 20s. Tom Holland is 25, so I say why not? Tristan Wilds can still pass for a high schooler. He's got the gravitas.
He's got that baby face too, though.
Yes,
yeah, he does.
Okay, I hate to burst your bubble, but I don't know if he's that young. Tristan Wilds is actually showing up as 32 years old.
32 years old. He's 32 in black, so he's like 24.
That's like a white 24. Yeah.
I like it.
That was so great. Oh my god.
That's good. That does make sense.
I'm just gonna say I'm tired of seeing grown men playing little kids.
Right.
I'm over it. Like, we got so many superheroes that are middle aged. Like, we don't need to.
Well, that's because like we don't have any good kids anymore. Like, okay, so think about it. Think about it though. Okay, so that the kid from Stranger Things, like he got what, 4 seasons? Then he's like too old for everything.
Yeah,
he's too old for everything. He aged out of it, and it's not our fault that like us adults, you know what I'm saying, that are like have the baby face. You know what I mean? Like, we get past as kids. People ask me all the time, like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 30, and they're like, you're what? You're how old?
You're 30, yes.
I didn't know you were
pushing it, knocking on its door.
Yeah, Yaz got that baby skin.
Really old.
Look, that's not actually true. Yes, he's not like aged out of everything. He's just aged to bigger roles.
Right.
That opens the door for the young aspiring actors, because guess what? 4 years ago, he was a young aspiring actor. Right. So there is not a diminished amount of roles for younger actors. It's just easier to put an older actor in a younger role, because then you don't have to go through the necessary, like, you got to kind of cater to kids. You got to be careful. You got to be fragile with them as a director, as set members, as everybody, because kids are kids, and of course they're fragile. So with this situation, I would really like to go ahead and start a franchise, just like they did with Tom Holland. Granted, Tom Holland is 25 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he would have been 2020 when he started, like, or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so he was still younger, but not, you know what I'm saying? He's aged well, and he looks younger, but I don't want to see a 35-year-old. I don't want to see anybody in their 30s putting on, a tight spandex costume and playing a teenage boy. But
what about that thing we had planned?
Here goes my weekend.
Damn, bruh. All right.
I was not in that group text.
All right. Well, I guess I gotta go back in time and undo my Miles Morales cosplay for MegaCon. I sure as hell was Miles Morales for the second year in a row. But I mean, at the end of the day, man, look, the Spider-Man Miles Morales hasn't even come. We're still tripping over this trailer from that was released this week. We've already agreed that I haven't watched it. But just to kind of segue that, since that is a Marvel thing, one of the upcoming episodes of What If is going to star one Peter Parker, who, for some strange reason, from what I read, ends up taking on the role of Doctor Strange. Which this What If show, if y'all haven't been watching it, has been taking us down a lot of rabbit holes, making us kind of think like, yo, what the fuck? Like, it really only takes a couple different tweaks of a storyline to make everything change. I don't know. I hope all y'all. I know, Steph. I know you mentioned that you hadn't watched it, because you don't watch everything when it comes out because you're so busy like acting and teaching the kids and nursing
and
people
because I have tenets of an addictive personality, and once I start, I will not do anything else for several days. So I have to wait until I can actually avoid my work for a week without not being able to pay my rent, because I will just not do anything else.
Damn, all right. She's real deep. Okay.
But I read all the summaries because I love spoilers. So I know everything that happens.
Okay, you're fitting in real well here because
Yeah.
the one thing we didn't have was somebody who loved spoilers. We do have the antithesis of that, right to your left.
Loki, WandaVision, What If? I read it all. It's as if I saw it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, cool with it. So
Wish we had you here a few months ago because Loki was so fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun talking Loki.
We went in on Loki pretty hard, and Loki, oddly enough, was one of the few. If you watch the Disney Plus, like they have these categories. Like if you watch the Marvel categories, it says Marvel series, and then there's one that says in order of it lists the Disney movie, the Marvel movies in order, and like you see the Loki placement of it, like real recent. But for this What If episode, most recently, they started off, just so you know, since you've read the summaries, the first one they started off with giving us Agent Carter, which we loved. Like, Agent Carter, Captain Carter, rather, like was phenomenal. Even though she smashed the hell out of that Steve Rogers dick, boy, we know Steve Rogers' pelvis is melted to a shred at this point. If she was right, I loved all the memes.
I got the perfect meme for that. Actually, I'll post it later. I saw it yesterday. You're gonna die when you see it.
Oh, yo, your memes about Steve Rogers had me dying every time. Like the one where it's like, I love when actors stand in front of things that they destroyed, and then
she's just like they're all like big and buff and shit. He's like,
my man named Keanu Reeves in the one show in the movie we love so much,
John Wick.
John Wick standing behind, and then Agent Carter is standing in front of. Anyway, so then they give us the one episode that frankly made you listen. I know you're not watching episodes, but Steph, if you do get a 30-minute slot, I highly recommend at least watching. The cool thing about these episodes is they're not saga. So if you watch like just episode 2, you don't have to watch episode 1 to understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So they're completely episodic. And this Chadwick Boseman voiced T'Challa was an emotional ride, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think of course it added to the emotion the fact that he was, he's no longer alive, of course. But the fact that we knew the backstory of him wanting to make sure he did voice the voice of T'Challa because he wants that legacy to go on as long as it can. And then they dedicated the episode to him at the end. It was very heart-wrenching. But this most recent episode, it went a step further. I just as from a reviewing standpoint, am going to say that the T'Challa episode took the bar up here. And the third episode kind of dropped it back down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a notch. Not that it's a bad episode or that it didn't warrant. But I mean, Chadwick. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the pinnacle, right? I mean, when you got Chadwick as Black Panther, it don't get no better than that. So anything they did after this, if it doesn't have Chadwick or Miles, it's gonna be lackluster. In this particular instance, Tyrone, it involved, I guess, one Mr. Nick Fury going through a timeline where they actually don't have the Avengers. And I thought that it was particularly interesting how the first thing they did was visit one Iron Man in a scene right out of Iron Man. And what's the first thing that happens? Spoiler alert, he doesn't make it through the episode. I'm interested in your thoughts on the episode, Tyrone, because I mean, you always keep it real.
Yeah, no, I actually loved it. I think that they've been really consistent with What If so far with the stories and just going where they're going with them. This one was really, really fun. I was talking to Ty about it, and I think we mentioned it, and I was just like, this is one where I'm like, man, if this was made into a whole series, this one makes the most sense for a whole series. which I don't think they do, but it just made the most sense for it. But I didn't expect the twist. I had no idea that was coming. It was a lot of fun. I loved Loki showing up in it and becoming a problem for everybody. And then ultimately, how his story ends up. I mean, it had so much that I wasn't expecting. I loved the episode.
Yeah. Tyrone, what were your thoughts?
I loved it. I thought it was really great.
Hey, not you, the other Tyrone. Damn it, Tylene. Tyrone number 2. My bad.
Y'all over here. Y'all raping us over here, man. But now listen, I agree. I agree with Tyrone. That this was a really good. And full disclosure, I watched it right before we got on the show this morning, so fresh on my brain. Again, I just want to talk about how Loki always seems to wind up being the hero now. Like, I just want to keep pushing out there that Tom Holland is like really just the savior of the MCU right now. Tom Hiddleston, my bad. Tom Hiddleston. I always mix them up. But anyway.
And you can't get mad at me for saying Tyrone then.
Because both of their names start with Tom. Their names actually are Tom. Both of their names are Tom. But anyway, but needless to say, again, the fact that they keep pushing him forward and promoting him, it just really tells me a lot that we're gonna see a lot of him. We're gonna see a lot of Loki, man. So y'all just go ahead and strap in.
We're ready.
Although he did immediately take over Earth, like as soon as he got the chance, he was like, "All right, this is mine now," which I absolutely loved.
If you save it, you own it.
It's like the reverse of you break it, you buy it. Yes, your thoughts. I have a theory, but I want to hear what you thought first.
Oh, actually, I want to hear your theory first.
Okay. Well, I think that the reason why why Loki in this particular instance does end up quote unquote saving everything is just because they did take out the Avengers, and I mean it's the timeline itself that we all watched from the Infinity from not the Infinity War, but the first Avengers, not the. Was it the first? Yeah, it was the first.
Yeah, it was the Avengers movie.
Or the New York incident, right? Mm-hmm. So they're basically saying, listen, if the Avengers we knew didn't exist, then Tom would have came down, right? And this is how it would have happened. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily a matter of warping the time or like Tom, saving the world. It's just a matter of him playing the hand that he was given. If there was no Iron Man to stop him or to even fight against the concept of Thanos, assimilating the entire planet Earth, starting with New York. So I mean, I don't know if it's really anything about like the Tom Hiddleston, the Loki character being a hero, much as him just playing a different role to get what he was ultimately looking for, which was global conquest.
Well, actually, really, he was only trying to avenge his brother in this one, and he got the revenge he wanted, and then he was like, "I guess while I'm here, I'll just take this planet over. Why not?" Like that's
that last scene in What If told it all, because remember, Loki was playing Samuel L. Jackson just to get Pym to tell him everything that happened, and once he realized that he was responsible for his brother's death, because remember he was like, "Well, what about Thor? What about the Asgardian? God?" He was like, "Yo, so he was like, "Oh, okay, all right, cool." So it is kind of a play again to make him look more like a hero rather than a villain. And another thing that I wanted to touch on really quick before I pass it back was the Incredible Hulk scene. Wasn't that the scene from the Edward Norton?
Yes.
That's what I thought. I was like, okay, all right. They went back with that one. Okay.
Yeah, they were like, we don't want this guy to look like Edward Norton, though. We want him to look like Mark Ruffalo. They're like, what if we never had Ed Norton on the on the payroll? And they're like, this is better. We like it this way.
Yeah.
We'll use Edward Norton's scene, but we'll use Mark Ruffalo's voice.
Well, yeah, and his likeness. if you notice. Like
Well,
they,
yeah.
like you said, like he looked like him. But I mean, the Incredible Hulk unfortunately didn't have the same success, or the success that I think that they wanted it to. I think the Hulk movies suffered, both of them. And I was reading an article that said that Hulk was one of the first characters that they had, at least Marvel Studios had access to, that they were able to use, but it wasn't translating on screen. I set my flag. I will say, and I will back down on this. I still think the first Hulk was not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. The Eric Bana Hulk was not terrible. I mean, yes, his CGI wasn't as detailed and animated as it was in the Incredible Hulk, but the storyline with Betty, with the storyline with the way that he was introduced to the gamma rays was very, very close to the actual story as it happened in the comics. I like the comic book framing of it, the screenplay. I think that it did not get I think that time will serve that first movie well, especially compared to the second one. But Hulk in this one did have his little appearance, and it was a little cringeworthy. But the best part of this for me was just hearing Sam Jackson's voice and knowing that Sam Jackson was in the studio. And I just every time I hear Sam Jackson, bro, I just know everything's gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? As far as the actress, I was a little curious because it did have Black Widow in it, very heavy in it. But we know that it clearly was not Scarlett Johansson. So I was questioning like the who it is that actually voiced the characters and why, like, some people would voice some characters and other people wouldn't voice other characters. What's up, Tyrone?
You still with that Tyrone boy?
Look, if y'all would just
yo, maybe you should.
Names,
you know what I'm saying? You need to put me up here, or Yaz, and then somehow you'll probably still call Yaz Tyrone.
I would.
But it is what it
so
is.
I'm used to being called the wrong name. You gotta remember, I'm the only girl amongst like a bunch of boys when I grew up. So like, I mean, every kid would get called, even my cousin and my dog, before my mom would get my name right. And she'd be like, "You know who I'm talking to? Damn it, just answer me." And I'm like, "Oh, me, because I don't know who the fuck you talking to." Yeah.
Dino, I mean, yes. Get your ass over here. Oh,
we just call it Godfather around here. What I was gonna say is, you know, that's the biggest thing you took from it was Samuel L. Jackson's. You know,
it wasn't what I took from it. It was one of the things that I enjoyed the most about it. Was being able to hear Samuel, because I mean, he hasn't been in he wasn't in. I
mean, last we saw Samuel Jackson and heard his voice was on WandaVision.
What?
The end credit scene of wasn't it the end credit scene where he was on the space station?
Oh, you're talking about in Far From Home?
Far From Home?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Far From Home.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, that was a WandaVision.
Well, not you're talking about Far From Home. You're not talking about where, you know, White Vision fought Red Vision, and I don't think that Nick Fury was in that. The end of that one showed the Skrull with Monica Rambeau. Right before, you know what I'm saying, Monica hipped over to the Marvels.
And he wants to speak to you or something, right?
Yeah.
He wants
she would.
And
she got sent down on behalf.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, and he wasn't in he didn't play he didn't have anything to do with like Black Widow, which you would have thought, you know what I'm saying, would have made sense, you know, as much as he, you know, but I think they've associated Nick Fury a lot more with Captain Marvel now. I mean, Captain Marvel was basically a Nick Fury origin story, you know what I'm saying?
Because of when Civil War took place, I think Nick Fury was like technically S.H.I.E.L.D. was done and Nick Fury was on the run kind of thing. So like, yeah, he was, you know, hiding basically.
Right. So I mean, that's why I like Nick Fury is like one of my favorite characters in this MCU. He's the most consistent. He's Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury. You know what I'm saying? He's not Nick Fury being acted by Samuel L. Jackson. They made Nick Fury Samuel L. Jackson. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Hell yeah.
Like so, it's not like, well, I will strike thee down with great. No, this is like, who the fuck is this motherfucker scratching my eye? Like, I fucks with this Nick Fury. So I was happy to see that. It was kind of weird to see them kill off. This was more of like if Marvel did Law and Order SVU. This would have been like a Marvel, you know what I'm saying? Like some sort of detective Matlock, some sort of type of show.
Yeah,
and I thought it was dope with that aspect. I dig it. Yaz, what you thought? You never told us what you thought.
I liked the episode. Like you guys were saying, it didn't have, for me, it wasn't like as hyped as the first and the second episodes were. So I mean, like I remember it, but it's not like fresh in my memory because I watched it days ago. But it wasn't bad. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I did like that, like you guys said, they did bring the old original Banner back into it. And I liked that the spin-off was a little different, how like they didn't have the Avengers there. And yes, Loki is always Loki. And I liked how when he came down, he was very heartfelt about losing Thor and trying to find his killer. But then as soon as things started going his way, he was like, okay, y'all bitches are mine. Like
right.
Like meet your ruler, you're welcome. I saved you, like his typical maniacal self. So I mean, I enjoyed those parts and aspects of it. I don't know. It just wasn't as like, I guess, I don't know. I guess it just wasn't as like raving as the other ones were. The other ones were like, I couldn't stop like raving about them. I was constantly talking about them. This one was just like, it was not bad,
Stephanie, are you a Ant-Man fan? Did you watch the Ant-Man videos, Ant-Man movies?
I've seen parts of each of them. I am an Ant-Man fan. Kind of on this topic of this episode of What If I might divulge into an anti-DC rant for just a moment. Reading the plot of this episode reminded me of when Batman's bitch ass took out the entire Justice League because he had already researched the perfect way to kill all of his friends. Who does that? Who is that?
Psychopath.
I hate Batman. I'm here for the Batman slander all day. His only superpower is white privilege, and I'll stand behind it. So it gave me Batman kills his friends vibes.
Batman kills his friends vibes.
Well, all right. Well, I've heard that argument, and I've also said that before. I think I've even posted that Batman's superpower is white privilege. But what does that make Tony Stark's superpower?
White privilege and fantastically sarcastic wit. Okay, Tony is charming and obnoxious. Batman is just obnoxious. And I've met so many black men who stand for Batman, and I'm just like, why? For what? What? I don't get the appeal.
Also, at least Tony Stark used his abilities and his knowledge to like power, to give like renewable energy and stuff like that to people and things like that. He's trying. You know what I mean? Batman's just collecting cars.
Right, and Batman is just like harassing petty criminals, like beating up weed dealers. Like, mind your business, Batman.
What's Talim? Oh my God, bad tie. Shit.
And to Tyrone's point, that is after he had killed his weapons had killed millions.
Yes.
So I mean, it's kind of give or take. But
yep.
But one of the things that I'm so surprised that none of you are talking about is the fact that Hank Pym killed all the Avengers.
Yeah.
Listen,
yeah, that was pretty crazy.
From Earth's mightiest hero to they're all dead.
Yeah. That's where I was going.
So this for me was like dope on a scale of we have an Ant-Man movie coming. Mm-hmm. And like you now know that Ant-Man is way more powerful than anybody else could guess. Because at any point, if he gets mad at you, he can get inside, he could go inside your body.
Right.
Shoot a thing at your heart and make you explode from the inside out.
Yeah, that was nuts.
That is nuts. Go in there and just kill you, and like you there's nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there showed me a new depth. Because listen, I honestly have never really liked Ant-Man. I thought that was his shit was corny. I was like, oh yeah, he gets big. You know what I'm saying?
He's a boss.
Yeah. But this showed me that I have looked at you totally wrong
Yeah.
for so many years. And if you're watching this, Ant-Man, listen, I apologize, and because I don't want you to be here right now. And if you're here right now,
You are so
you know,
stupid.
don't
shoot
kill
no
me.
shit in my heart.
Yeah, don't kill me. I'm sorry. We know who the dopest Avenger is going on. And
Damn, you fold quick, bro.
Right?
Yeah, man.
I submit.
That's Vince Taylor. He lives at you know.
Oh, hold up. First of all, you know what I'm saying? Why are you giving out my yellow pages? Number one.
Right?
Number two, you clearly didn't watch the whole episode because, Ant-Man is all, I can fly into your ear and stab your heart. But clearly all it takes is a...
Well, by a god.
Because Nick Fury was hitting him with
he was smacking him down like a
That
bitch.
was
That was
when he was
funny.
Loki, though.
And furthermore, that's when Loki knew it was Hank.
Yes.
Had he not known that was Hank, this could have very well been Loki dying too, because Hank can kill the shit out of you and you'll never know. You only can defend against Hank if you know he's coming. That's the only way. And even then, it's going to be quite hard. It's going to be really hard.
Yeah, but he made that shit look mad easy. He was pimp slapping him all over the place.
Yeah. Bruh, he
where's my money?
He's a literal god. He's a god.
And he was aware, and a god that was aware. So at that point, I don't think, Hank was going to escape his vision, is what I'm saying. It's like at that point, he knew what Hank was trying to do. So he was aware, and he was constantly focused on where he was at. So, as microscopic as he was, a god still could see it.
Yo, there was actually in the Infinity War saga, there was a theory that it was going to be Ant-Man that destroyed Thanos, but not the way you think, with big blown up, oh so huge, I'm running towards you on another planet, but to go up his ass and to implode him, kind of Shang Tsung style. If y'all remember Mortal Kombat, how Shang Tsung would go into your ear and then just blow up. And they called it the Thanos theory, if you recall. Thanos, because they were going to go up as Thanos. So we've kind of thought about what Stephanie's giving.
Of all the orifices on the human body, why that one? So many holes.
That was what. That's exactly what old boy said. Paul Rudd. Somebody was telling him about this theory. I think it was Howard Stern. It was on the Howard Stern. He was like, "Yeah, what about that theory?" And Paul was like, "I get going into his body, but why the anus? Like, 100%.
Why the ass?
I was like, why the anus?" But that does happen, man. So I don't know. But you bring up a couple of points. First of all,
what does happen?
Oh God.
What do you mean? When? What?
You ended that with that does happen. What what happens? That they go in the anus? Like what happens?
Oh God. Why are we going here?
People talk about different theories.
Let's pivot.
People speculate.
Pivot away.
You stuck on that ass part.
Pivot away.
When I said,
listen. I was listening to you talking about it.
I was just talking about the speculation of the different possibilities that Ant-Man, because you were talking about how powerful he was, and I was saying that it was even speculated that just to kind of add to piggyback on you talking about his power, that he could have killed Thanos, but not as a big, huge being, but as a small, tiny, microscopic anal STD that goes in through him, and that happens. Like these theories are put, but you harped on my words and have halted us, sir.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was like, this happens. Like I didn't know that this was a thing. Like what I mean? Like I'm sitting here listening. My bad, bro.
I was in the middle of probably one of my most. Like my segue game was on point. I was finna go.
We should have pivoted away. Let's do it again.
And then it's gone. The moment is
has gone.
It is
the weirdest episode of Magic School Bus ever.
I love it. All right, anyway, man. I think just to kind of wrap up what if talks, I think this episode was cool. I think I think where they're going is dope. But right now, it's starting to seem like it's going to be real difficult to surmount that T'Challa episode. I mean, Tyrone, you say you really like this episode, but did you like it more than T'Challa's episode? I mean, not that they all have to be ranked, but I mean, you didn't feel that same drop off that we did, where it was like, this episode was good, but damn, that last episode though, you know what I'm saying? You didn't get that feeling?
No, I didn't feel any drop off. I'm viewing them each as their own stories, so it's I'm not feeling drop offs or anything yet. Just they've been killing it with the storytelling, and all the elements that we talked about in this episode were crazy. They were awesome to watch. So I enjoyed the hell out of it. Enjoyed the hell out of watching the Black Panther Star-Lord story. I love that. Yeah. And same thing with Captain Carter. Yeah, it's I'm of the option of why not all of them? Why do I have to choose?
True. I always like to say either or either either and is better than either or, even though that doesn't make sense. But yeah, all right. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of, because I mean, ratings are happening right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just hoping that as they continue, that these stories stay just as enthralling, and they don't start to go down a slope. But
I also think, real quick, I do think there's an emotional aspect to the Star-Lord, the T'Challa Star-Lord episode that won't be duplicated simply because the circumstances are there. You know what I mean? Like we don't have, we're not going to have another episode of something where we're, hearing the voice of an actor who we lost too early and, who we all loved and stuff like that. So, that I don't think will be duplicated just because it can't be.
Okay, fair enough.
Unless somebody goes out, unless Hank Pym, starts murdering folks, just so we can have that experience again.
Hey, I'm for it.
He looks so crazy and like maniacal though. Like,
yeah, he did. He looked really scary, and
yes,
that was what they were going for. And I love it. I love it because you did not suspect it, even though I did kind of have a low key suspicion that there was some sort of shrink ray shit afoot. I thought that it still made sense. Now, real quick, I want to hard pivot, since my segue was stepped on. Hard pivot. Stephanie, your hatred for Batman runs pretty deep. Where did that start? And I'm also curious, I haven't had a chance to really, and we haven't, I know pre-show we did, but we haven't really had a chance to really delve into your Blerddom and where it came from, what it is that brought you into this world, what it is that your Blerd experience has been. And I'm just curious, is that, like, for those of y'all who are just tuning in, who weren't here before, or maybe watching on the replay, Stephanie is our esteemed guest for today, and Stephanie is involved in the Black Improv group, as you see in the background, but there's also a staunch Blerd, mainly focused on Marvel, a huge Black Panther fan, but an even huger Donald Glover fan. Hallelujah. So I'm just curious, like, where does your nerd run deep? Just to give you an example, me, Spider-Man. I started off loving Spider-Man. If you've ever watched this, if you've seen me before, you hear me nerd on and on and on about Spider-Man. As a kid, that was who I related to the most because he was relatable. He wasn't an alien. He wasn't a super rich dude who needed something to do at night. He was a dude who lived in his aunt's house as a adopted orphan because his parents was dead. And he didn't live in rich and glamour. He was a nerd. He was picked on. He got powers and then kept them from himself. And then when he did get his powers, he had to hide them from his aunt because his aunt hated Spider-Man. And that's how I felt my life was growing up. It was always some sort of entanglement between who you are, who you want to be, and who you present to the public. Now, what about you? When you actually think about your Blerddom, like, where does it run deep? Where did it start? Do you remember, like, if it's a nuance? Is this something that you've had since childhood? Just give us a little quick autobiography, if you don't mind, because I'm curious, man. I mean, and I know I talk a lot. It's one of the reasons why we start this whole thing up. But just another quick background is I met Stephanie. Oh, did I take that one down? Damn, I took that. I had a picture of us at the Improv. I must have took it down. I must have thought it was inappropriate. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I would remove it. Yeah, it was. I
looked great in that photo. So
you did. I might put it back up here. I don't know what happened, but I met you there, and for some, I don't know how we got on the topic of Marvel and all of that stuff, but it was instant. Like, it was like it didn't take long to talk about the fact that that's what we was into. So I'm really curious as to how deep it runs with you. You know what I mean?
Very deep. My introduction is 2 words: Aurora Monroe. I am a giant X-Men fan. Just the whole story of like,
Oh
you
yeah.
feel different, something about you just doesn't quite blend in with other people. Being, you know, the only Black girl in my all-white AP classes, I
Yes.
always related to this X-Men story of something. Like, I literally am still waiting for my X-Men powers to kick in. I have not given up. I know I'm gonna wake up one day and be like, there we go. Came a little past puberty, but they showed up. So Storm just being a strong Black woman who is not a side character, who has led the X-Men a bunch of times, who people know to not fuck with, who is a goddess. I'm like die hard Storm. So really, my entry into Black Panther was the fact that they dated as teenagers and she was Queen of Wakanda for a while.
Yes.
So that's really how I got into that world. And I am, as much as I want Donald Glover as Miles Morales, the true deepest desire of my heart is to see Storm done properly, statuesque and brown skinned. And I would love to see her in Wakanda. I've heard rumors of Michaela Coella as Storm, which would be beautiful. Do not give me Halle Berry or Alexandra, whatever her name is. No. I want giant chocolate Storm in all of her glory.
Ooh-wee. Yo, did y'all hear her quote, which I have never heard anybody quote Storm's actual name so seamlessly? Like, say it again real quick. Say her name again.
Aurora Monroe.
Aurora. Did y'all even know? See, a lot of y'all don't even realize the history of Storm. Now, we, just full disclosure, Stephanie, we've talked even last week, as recent as last week, about who we think that would be plausible replacements, I guess, for Storm. And I think it's appropriate that you're here to talk about it, because Storm was instrumental in the Black Panther. I mean, Storm, if I'm not mistaken, they had a baby in some of the later comics after they got married. And Storm and T'Challa, two African heroes. All right. We on this particular panel are 100% on board with a Storm solo movie, maybe even a Storm saga. We want Storm, who I believe is going to be entered into the MCU, to represent Storm, not to be an X-Men cast member. And I think that you're in the right place. I'm not going to lie. We've already decided who we think would be the best Storm. I don't know if you'll agree with us or not. But who is it that you said you think should be Storm?
Michaela Coella from I Will Destroy You, and she had a show called Chewing Gum.
Oh, I know who she's.
Oh my God, that girl is she's
in Black Panther. It's confirmed she's in Black Panther, and we don't know who. So I'm hoping and praying that she is Storm.
That would be great.
She's in Black Panther?
Yeah, she's in Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
In the second one.
I think it's pretty safe, and I don't want to downplay the potential for her to be Storm, but I think that it's pretty safe to assume that she's likely going to be some sort of ranging member in the Dora Milaje, whatever you want to call them, because Chewing Gum was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something unpopular that may get me canceled. I'm not on board with that. I'm not on board with Michaela, and it's probably because I'm biased. We already discussed who it is that we thought. Have you seen a show called American Gods?
I have not watched it, but I'm vaguely familiar. Who are you thinking?
Okay, in the show American Gods, this young lady right here takes center screen.
Okay.
And we just happen to think that she, because of the role specifically that she played in American Gods, in which she was a god, and she had some very freaky powers.
Yeah. I have had conversations with my girlfriends about this one.
Yeah, she's got some powers, some very absorbful powers. And we just thought that she kind of, she did check all the boxes. She's not, a whitewashed. I believe she has actual African roots. I'm going to do a little bit more research on the actress herself. But I think that we unanimously on this panel, at least between me and Bad Ty, have decided that she would be very fitting for that role. A couple other folks that I think named, Angela Bassett's name was thrown across, but I don't know. She's already,
Queen Ramonda
mom. So we can't really do that anymore. But yeah, man, I think that Storm has been fiercely overlooked in this whole entire debacle. She may single-handedly be able to salvage the X-Men franchise, which right now is in shambles, if we can all admit. So hopefully that happens. But I will say this. We just came from MegaCon. All right. You know what MegaCon is. I hope you do. It's it's Orlando's version of Comic-Con San Diego. We had a panel. And on this panel, we discussed the concept of Blerd and what Blerd embodied. And while we were on the panel, I let it slip that the reason why we wanted to create this group was because we wanted to make sure it was not only a safe space for people to be their Blerd self, but also to show the unification in our experiences, right? And so I spoke about how I was in the band in high school, and there was like an outroar. You remember that, y'all? When we was at the band, I was in the band. It was like, yes, the band, yeah. And so that almost seems like initiation for Blerdness, like being in a band, being that one black person in your advanced placement classes, having all honor classes, you sitting at the lunch table with your friends, but then going to class with your classmates. You know what I'm saying? Like having that whole scholarship aspect, being able to balance multiple cultures. Because I mean, you're basically balancing your corporate culture, your nerd culture, your black culture, and still able to walk amongst, the mainstream white world, as it were. And I think that's the difference between being a Blerd and being a nerd. Like as a nerd, all right, you're automatically ostracized from society. So that comes with the territory. But as a black nerd, you're not only ostracized from society, but you're ostracized from your own race. You're like, yo, what the fuck is you reading these books for? Ain't you black? You're like, yeah, I'm black, but I mean, I still like Peter Parker. Like Peter Parker is a white man who came and, saying like, all right, well, calm down. I get it, So I think that's one thing I think that we all have. Now, of course, obviously, other than Bad Ty, who was like the only nigga who used to put like, Coke bags out with Spiderman and Hulk on it and shit. Like his niggas, he was like a street thug.
Allegedly.
Yeah, you put his business all over the internet right now. God damn. God damn.
Bad Ty, you heard of Blue Magic? Yeah. He was pushing out that black magic. Got there, yeah.
Aunt May, I got that Aunt May.
Yeah. I got this Doctor Strange. You hit this a couple times, you're gonna be in the multiverse, bitch. I see you, bro. You know what I'm saying? So there's all forms of us, though. We exist, but the weirdest thing about it is that we feel like we can only truly be our true, authentic selves around certain people. Otherwise, you risk the potential to expose a portion of you that does not meet that doesn't meet the image that you're meant to portray. Right? You're stepping outside of your predetermined destiny. Right? Like it took a little bit for me to perform Enter the Sandman in front of Tyrone when we went to sing karaoke over at Flagler Beach. But I felt comfortable with him, so I was like, all right, cool. And I think that's one of the things that we share, man. So I definitely could relate to Storm. But
did you lose your train of thought?
No. But was Storm the only character that you were into? Coming up, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, there was a whole bunch of other characters.
No, not the only. I mean, I'm into.
And if I could interrupt. What does Storm have to do with you hating Batman so much? Like, you came into this with some very staunch Batman hate, and I think you think Batman's like George Zimmerman. Like, there's.
He would though. I believe I do equate them. They're both. George Zimmerman, he's white to me. I'm just gonna call him white.
Yes,
they're both white men who overstep their boundaries and don't know to respect the space of people who are minding their goddamn business.
Okay.
Like, Batman does way too much. Like, just chill. Everything he gets into is not a life-threatening event. Sometimes just let folks be. Batman really is the type to beat you up over having some weed. Like, chill the fuck out.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
we know this is a black show because, like, if this kind of talk were happening on a white show, the comment section would be insanity. Like, there would be like a bunch of people dressed as a Joker, like, you know, talking shit and getting crazy. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just want to say I'm glad this is a safe space for this kind of discussion.
The only moment in the DC universe that I do have some appreciation for is when Superman fights Darkseid and gives his monologue about what a relief it is to fight someone at a similar level of strength so that he can finally let go, because he is constantly holding back when he fights villains, because he knows that if he operated at his full power, he would just like decimate cities. So that is the one DC moment I feel like I can relate to, because similarly, I feel like I frequently hold myself back in situations in order to not overwhelm other people. But that's it. Other than that, the entire DC universe is trash.
Oh, wow. All right.
I love your vibes.
First of all, this is how you know she reads. She called it Dark Seed. She's Dark Seed. Yeah. Well, in the books,
It's the dark side. Is that how you say it?
It looks like Dark Seed. It does. So that's how I know you read it.
Yeah.
It's phonetic pronunciations. Yeah.
And we thank you for that and your literature degree that you bring to the table. But yeah, I definitely thought about the fact that Batman is basically a glorified neighborhood watchman with a lot of money, which could easily make him George Zimmerman. This one hit me especially. Like, I was like, yo, that's probably what would happen to me. Like, if you're like, yo, was this that good shit, bro? Hell yeah. Ah, what the fuck? I told you to get this. Where did you buy this marijuana? Like, yo, hold on, bro. Like, I'm just trying to take a load off. I just worked a 12-hour shift, bro. Why you coming at me? You know what I'm saying? So I get that part. If I may, I think that one of the reasons why Batman is so coveted, because you did kind of delve into, you're like, yo, why is everybody Batman? As a boy, we were given all of these hero figures that always were shown in this benevolent light. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the silliest of superheroes, right, Stephanie? He-Man, Mighty Mouse, you know what I'm saying? Freaking, look, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Everybody's always benevolent. Batman was the first to kind of emerge as a hero who wasn't all light and all you know, oh, America, oh, everything good. It was like a dude who would crack your skull, who would beat the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? Who lived in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? He was psychotic because he's dressing up like a bat. You know what I'm saying? And he's not like, you don't see him at the end of the movie like standing up, you know, like flying towards the clouds. He's at the end of the movie, he's standing at the building at night with lightning coming down. You know what I'm saying? And he's standing there like, so he's like one of the first
animated series. I like it.
Yeah, one of the quote animated, one of the quote anti-heroes, one of the first ones that we kind of saw, even though we know he's a legitimate hero. And the way that they did, I think that we really have to attribute a lot of Batman love, in addition to the series from the 50s, and all that other stuff. But to that first and second Batman movie by Tim Burton with Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, with Danny DeVito, with Michelle Pfeiffer, with the original Batman cast, it was done so well. And I mean, we love Marvel, but in the 80s, Batman was Marvel. Like, our first introduction to a live action comic book movie was through the Batman series, in which we finally saw Tim Burton, the director, take the comic book characters seriously, not treat them like cartoon characters, where like he hit somebody and blood would pop out, you know, where like there was actual scenes where people's limbs were broken and people died in the scenes. So I think that that's where a lot of the Batman love comes from, just the concept of a hero that's not squeaky clean, a dude that doesn't have it all together, who's clearly psychological. I mean, the motherfucker's dressing up like a bat. Goddamn, I mean, come on, give me a break. You know what I'm saying? It's not some dude in tights with a cape. He's a bat with no powers. That I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he's kicking all kind of ass. So that's why if there's a DC character that I would flock to, it would be Batman. In fact, out of the DC characters, he was one of my favorite. I mean, I've grown to sense like, you know, like Green Lantern and I'm starting to kind of like Blue Marvel.
Blue Beetle.
I know it's
Blue Beetle, right?
Who?
Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle. Excuse me,
Yeah.
yeah, Blue Beetle. The Puerto Rican one. What's up, Bad Ty?
I was just gonna say, like, to Batman's defense, man, because it seems like there's a lot of slander about Batman. Batman's power, in essence, is his intellect. Like he's able to deal in reality. He doesn't deal in a lot of emotion, and that's why Batman is so cold and doesn't he seems like he's lacks emotion is because he deals in more in reality. Um, the reason why you find out um all the ways to kill your friends is because in essence each one of these people have the potential to at some point take over the world, destroy mankind, do things like that. So I think in reality, if you're smart, you don't know at what point a person's going to snap, but it's good to have a game plan if that happens, and that's how Batman deals in all situations, and that's what makes him so important to the DC, just like Tony was important to the MCU, and people like Reed Richards and the minds that look outside of what we just see in front of us and delve deeper into all of the things that people don't worry themselves about. That's what makes Batman such a formidable foe in the DC. In DC, he's regarded as like one of the top 10, most formidable opponents, and that's a guy without powers, like you guys said.
Right.
But his intellect has allowed him to study, so many different arts that he's perfected. Kung fu and all of the different arts of like all of the different hand to hand combat arts. He's like, if you look at his repertoire and his resume, like Batman is versed in all kinds of arts.
Yeah.
Like it's like, so it's when you say he doesn't have power, but yet he's able to take down people with powers, it's because he does all of his due diligence and he doesn't sit there and worry about making friends and smiling in your face. He's constantly worried about the possibilities, and that's what makes him such a badass in DC. And to Stephanie's point about the DC being trash, the DC, the way that they convey what they're trying to convey on screen is trash, but their farmhouse of superheroes and villains is vast, and it's so vast that Marvel has stolen all of their
Calm down.
oh, damn near, no, I'm dead serious. They've stolen most of their heroes. The theories come from DC. Most of their concepts.
Look, man, you've said this before, and I just don't. I just disagree with that whole notion. I mean, I'm not going to argue that there have been similarities in some of the characters, but stolen and all, those are the two words that I have issue with, because it's just that there's nobody in DC's lexicon that swings from buildings and got bitten by radioactive spiders. Most of Detective Comics folks were human beings that had tricks. If you look at Gotham, the overwhelming majority of the villains are just human beings that have a special kink about them. Like the Riddler just likes to do riddles. He doesn't have any nothing special.
Vince, you just described a swinging person that swings through a city at night. Last I checked, Batman swings through the city at night. He just didn't get bit by a spider. He actually represents a bat. So all I did was switch it to a spider, and he swings through the night at the thing. So at the end of the day, we can go back and forth about this all the time. Right. But every time you look up, if you ask anybody that really knows comic book history, Marvel has stolen a lot of DC's ideas and just made them better. But at the end of the day, the ideas were still stolen. We just watched a movie in DC where they use Jotunheim as the
give me a break. I mean, DC nor Marvel invented Jotunheim. I mean, those are Greek. That's Norse mythology that dates before all of us. That's
you're right. But I'm saying like this stuff showed up in DC Comics prior to it showing up in Marvel Comics. Is what I'm trying to tell you. So these are things that have gone on behind the scenes for a very, very long time. There's no argument that it's done. the just reality is that everybody agrees Marvel does it better. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that a lot of their concepts, a lot of their stuff, Stryker, the island of what was that?
The one in the arrow.
Yeah, the island, whatever the island is
the
called.
island's name, though.
Arrow
Yeah.
was okay.
Yeah, it's the same stuff, bro. It's the same stuff. But
well, one thing it is true, and we will say that I mean the parallel you drew between Spider-Man and Batman was very fascinating. I will give you credit for that, even though Batman wasn't bitten and then turned into a bat. The notion of him swinging from buildings is similar, and it is true that Captain Marvel was originally a DC character, even though it wasn't the Captain Marvel we know. There was a Captain Marvel in DC, and then they both had Captain Marvel. And what we know as Captain Marvel eventually ended up being Shazam. So there's definitely similarities there, but I don't know. I think that you can dial down the extremity. You know, like it's not stolen everything. There's a few characters. Yeah,
I mean, I never said they stole everything. You put words.
You said stole all of the characters. Like those are your words. Like stole all. And I was like, these are the two words I have issue with. So perhaps borrowed or you know emulated, and perhaps maybe a few or some or even many, but all no stolen. No. Yes, ma'am.
I'm not saying there's credence to this theory, but I'll say if there were, I'm not mad at it. I mean, basically every rom-com is based off of a Shakespeare play somewhere. You see something you like and you say, you know what, I could do this better. And I feel like Marvel did do it better. So I'm not really concerned about where some of the original source material may have drawn inspiration from. Doesn't make it less fantastic to me.
Holy shit. Okay. I love what, well, I take that and that's a great point, man. Stephanie, but fuck Shakespeare. We talk about, let's talk Stan Lee. But Sirius Black, yo, this dude, this is a
Seriously,
great
but
point.
yeah, he's been dropping some knowledge on us this morning. Thanks for thanks for all those comments.
Thanks for joining, bro. And then real quick, man, one time for our YouTube watchers, thank you, man. Make sure you keep sharing on YouTube and share whatever you're doing right now. Stop what you're doing and hit that share button. Let's go ahead and broaden this conversation. But this one like hit me in the core. Go ahead, Yaz.
They need to hit the subscribe button. You need to subscribe, and follow. That's what y'all need to do. Subscribe to us. We are on every single weekend explaining all things nerdy and blerdy. So please join us. And thank you, Sirius, for all your awesome comments.
Yes,
Yaz was using the MegaCon the MegaCon pitch. I like it. Like you can't untrain it.
Hey,
Yaz is like, I'm a machine.
Yo, you heard my daughter. My daughter had that. My daughter's like, do you like podcasts? What you say?
Are you breathing? Do you like podcasts?
Yeah, Kiki was killing it. I was like, yo, Kiki, you about to earn yourself a real career real quick. You better stop. Like, yeah. And you know what's funny too? And because she was doing that, the dude next to us thought she was my daughter. I was like, I don't have any kids. That's Lisa's daughter. And he was like, oh man, she's awesome. Y'all have great chemistry. She was just like, hey, you listen to podcasts? Do you breathe?
Yo. Hey, yo, seriously, Black is in the chat going ham, yo, right now. Yo. Hey, yo, and listen, shout out to you, Sirius Black. Yo, I'm not as versed as I should be with all of this, but I do be knowing, I be having a sense of most of the stuff that I'm talking about. So I appreciate you coming bringing the facts, you know what I'm saying, to back up what I'm talking about, man. So appreciate you, man, on that.
Yo, this dude got me feeling like I didn't study for this test. He's dropping all of the freaking the whole answer key is in this column. Like, let me just seriously, Black, let me just big you up right quick, bro. This is an interactive show, man. This is why we like to do it live, even if we chop it up afterwards. But the dude basically is like, y'all young whippersnappers don't know. Damn it, back when I was reading comics, man, there was only that. Like, he's really like making me feel like yo, he says, first of all, he says what? Young Punisher was the first violent anti-hero in the 70s. Okay, and I will not argue against that. Batman got that violent portrayal in 1984 with Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. year one. Okay,
Yeah, because he was brought to us as a detective, pretty much, who was like good at solving crimes. And then of course we had the Adam West Batman, which was goofy as hell.
Yes.
So yeah, things did change for a little bit over a while for Batman.
Now here's 12. That is all.
Now, seriously, Black, since you're so involved, since you're here, bro, I'm curious. Now, I'm gonna keep it real. I read Batman comics, but I didn't completely engulf. I didn't like immerse myself in them like I did the Spider-Man comics. So I had the one issue that I had framed was the one where Bane broke his back, threw him off the building, and Robin had to come and save him. And that one ended up turning into a movie. Which is what made it so infuriating to see in Batman Forever, Bane treated like some sort of henchman for Poison Ivy. It was like, get the fuck out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that kind of makes me wonder is the actual Batman movie itself. Didn't that come out like 1988? The first spot, the one with
the Tim Burton one.
It was like 1988, 1989, something like that. So you're saying that the Frank Miller comic that portrayed Batman as this violent guy was almost immediately turned into a movie. And Tim Burton picked it up because, you can't make the movie and drop it in the same year. And it was a lot of production involved. So even with that, man, that's definitely dope. Okay. He goes even further, guys. Pay attention. Cause he's dropping gems, man. You're going to get your love today, bro. We're going to give this man all his flowers. Deadpool is the direct parody of Deathstroke. Now that I'm going to hit the pause button on because even as a comic book character, Deadpool is one of the Three Stooges. Like he is a comedic ranting asshole in the comics. So maybe he was a direct because he maybe kills and uses guns and those are his weapons of choice. But Deathstroke, if I'm not mistaken, does not have any powers. He's just a well-trained military guy who happens to know how to, has a particular set of skills. But
it was like if you look at when Deadpool was definitely Marvel's answer to Deathstroke. If you look at when they were created, and like the similarities in their names and stuff like that, it's absolutely a very blatant. And I don't think they were trying to hide it. I don't think they were trying to be slick about it. They were just like, hey, we're going to take this idea and we're going to just we're going to marvel it up a little bit.
Oh wow! Oh my God! Yo, hold up! Yo, he's getting hot. All right.
Yeah. Well, I think they came out like a year. Like I think Deathstroke came out and like a year later, Deadpool was out.
Okay. All right. Dark Seed.
Like check yourself or you wreck yourself.
And High Father and the New Gods were created by DC and by Jack Kirby. Okay, Jack Kirby, as we know, also worked with Stan Lee. Mm-hmm. All right.
They're friends.
Oh snap! So. Yo, okay, look, I think I know who our next guest is going to be on this show. He said, and then he comes at Utah. He said, God, you better own up to that shit.
But he's right. But see, at the end of the day, like he has more knowledge about this than I do. So what he's doing is dropping the facts to support it. I had an opinion because based on the comics that I read in a while. So it's harder for me to just sit there and be, accredited just off my opinion. So that's why I backed off when she said, I said, okay. But now that I got the facts, now I'm back and I'm powered up. So like I said from the jump, a lot of this stuff has been stolen from Marvel and like kind of resubmitted a little different, and it just conveys better to the audience. And that's why I said from jump. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of this stuff is DC material.
This comment exploded my head. And Steph, I see you commented on this as well.
Great minds. Yeah.
This comment is pretty revealing. I'm not going to lie. I never put these two together. Bruh. So Ty, your argument here in court, sir, has garnished some merit, my friend. Counter to my good friend Gandalf, I am going to say you shall pass.
If you really think about it too, though, like they're both enhanced super soldiers. You know what I'm saying? That have special enhancements. And that they can't really die. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about it.
I don't think Deathstroke. I think Deathstroke is just a regular old mortal. But like Ant-Man's another example of this, though.
Like, we're talking about Wade Wilson, Deathstroke.
No,
okay, yeah, okay.
Blade.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Deathstroke itself in the DC comics is
you're right. He didn't have any enhancements.
Slaughterhouse, right. You know what I'm saying? And he, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't he? In one of these versions, he might actually kill the Green Arrow. at least the first one. And he's just an all around, just a bloodthirsty, highly well trained military guy. You know what I'm saying? And he brings all of those elements into his dark world of. I think he eventually ends up being more of a mercenary. While Wade Wilson cannot be killed, like you said. I think you're thinking about Deadpool. And he also becomes, very familiar with military arsenal. So I see the similarities, and it's stunning, and it's sad because I'm still staunch Marvel, but damn, these motherfuckers really did do some ripping, huh? All right, so my bad.
It's not just from DC to Marvel. It happens back and forth too. Like Marvel had Ant-Man, and then I think maybe 10 years later or so, DC had the Atom. Yeah, which is basically the same thing. So it's like, it goes back and forth. They do it constantly.
Yeah. I mean, even like I said, with Marvel, that whole taking Marvel and then there being two Marvels. There's one in Marvel, and there's one in DC, and then for DC to have to decide, like, oh well, let's just go ahead and let them have it.
Yeah,
like I think that's interesting as well. But we're seeing a lot of these characters in the show that's out right now. I know Stephanie would not come anywhere close to this show because it's DC. It reeks of DC filth. But season 3 of Titans is out right now, and some of these characters that we're talking about are in this show. I don't know if we're all caught up. Tyrone, are you caught up, or are you still?
I'm not caught up, but I'm looking forward to discussing it anyway. And don't worry about me when it comes to spoilers. I'm just excited to be talking about it. I'm enjoying the show.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, spoiler alert: Batman dies. Not just kidding. Batman's not really in it, but yeah, season 3 is turning out to be pretty good from where I stand. I mean, Stephanie, I don't know if you plan on watching it or not, but you read spoilers, so I mean, I hope you don't mind if we talk about this.
Can I sell it to Stephanie real quick?
Please.
The whole first season, Robin is talking mad shit about Batman. He does not like Batman. So there's a lot of Batman hate in that first season. So you might, be able to get on board with that.
There's Batman hate throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. So
Batman is technically like enemy number 1 right now because he fucked up this kid and he keeps fucking up kids, and that's how he does shit. He's a fucked up person who fucks up people. So he's enemy number 1 mostly in the series, like for sure.
And I do like Black Starfire, so that's
she kills it, yo.
She's great. She's absolutely great.
Fucking boss ass bitch, yo. You gotta watch that.
I think Marvel needs to steal her and make her Storm.
For sure.
Yo, actually, that's not a bad idea. I mean,
for sure.
No.
Of it, yeah. But well, first of all, all right. I wasn't planning on going here, but you called her Black Starfire, and I think I just want to call her Starfire. And the reason is because there's an actual black fire, her last name is Fire. Basically, the way it is in the council, like her sister's like Black Fire, and her brother's like Sunfire, and then there's like Burn Fire. I don't know. But they did make her black, and I think that they made it, and it's kind of, there's something Wakanda-esque about the way that they're doing Starfire. I don't know if y'all peeped that or not. Like, she's royalty, she's a queen, you know what I'm saying? They came down, and all that stuff. She's from a place called Tamarin, right? And they're really delving into her backstory. And I do rather enjoy seeing this version of Starfire as opposed to the one from Teen Titans, which is all happy-go-lucky, this, that, and the third. But I think that if you are a Batman hater, so to speak, then this is your show, because they do nothing more than shit on Batman, or if either they're fanboying over him or they're shitting on him. But I definitely think it's worth the watch. It's gritty. I don't know if you watched any of the CW Arrowverse shows at the Flash or any of that stuff.
I did enjoy some of Arrow, yeah.
Arrow was one of the best shows. I honestly think that is one of DC's best low budget shows. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The show clearly had no budget. In the first, they were working for, everybody was working for craft services that first season, you know what I'm saying? Just for the food on break.
Yes, we got breaking news again. We got breaking news.
Oh God, here we go.
Breaking news, man. This came into my phone, man. Hold up, man. If I'm reading this correctly.
Oh God.
Okay. DC has just secured Dylan as hot fire. Hot fire, more fire. I think he's playing two roles. They say hot fire and more fire. I don't know which one we're gonna get first, but Dylan is more fire and hot fire. So, breaking news.
Come on.
Breaking news.
Okay, well, I got a question for you,
And
Ty.
I'm here
I got a
for it.
question for you. Who are the 5 best DC heroes of all time?
Dylan.
You know what's up? You nailed it. Got the.
Oh, that's a quotable. That's kind of the caption.
The super friends are not the super friends without Dylan. I got you. Okay, you win the day, sir. That was well done. Appreciate that. Dylan, what's his name? His name is
Dylan.
He spit hot fire.
More fire. Spit hot fire.
Said Dylan.
Yo, come on, man. Come on, bro.
Honestly, Dave Chappelle's Dylon is so much more memorable than the actual Dylon. I have to remind myself that the actual man didn't say these things. Like
That was that's right. That was a real person.
That's true. I forgot that he didn't say that. That is true. I felt like he did say the band is not the band without Dylan. I think he did say
Oh,
that.
he was
that one
cocky.
could have been
He was
Dylan
cocky for
did
sure.
say he was
My
more
cheeks
fire.
hurt, yo. Oh my
And then
God.
He spits hot fire. He spits more fire and hot fire. Dylan. That's more fire.
So he got Dylan and then his hot fire. We need somebody else to be more fire.
we should get super hot fire.
Yes,
Super hot
Y'all
fire.
fire.
We got
All
straight
right.
Not a rapper. He's
I'm not a rapper.
fire. Straight fire.
Straight fire,
Straight
gay fire.
hot fire, more fire. Fire fighter. You can come with it all day, baby. We got
Crotch fire.
Oh my God.
fire.
All
We
right,
got
well,
it all
I
day.
ain't gonna spend too much time on this, but since it did come out, I did want to at least delve into this last episode of Titans, and then I wanted to get into a Marvel movie ranking session with you guys before we go, if that's okay.
Cool.
All right. So just to kind of recap Titans, if you have been watching, you do know that now our beloved Jason, who was Robin number 2,
Yep.
which they're staying true to the actual comics. which
Jason
I
Todd.
I will cop to the fact that at least DC is being very true to the comics here. Jason Todd has been revealed as the actual Red Hood.
Yep.
All right. Red Hood, honestly, he looks like a cross between Miles Morales and Deathstroke. You know what I'm saying? And it's a very interesting character. I think that what makes it interesting is here's a character who knows Batman's secrets. Okay. Here's a guy who knows Batman's strengths, weaknesses. He knows where his lair is. He knows his passcodes. He knows his 2-step authentication for his Amazon. So he can order whatever he wants and probably get it within a day or two if he orders more than $30 or more. So this dude right here is complex. He's selling Batman out like fuck because he feels like he's been given a short end of a stick as it pertains to him as Batman, as a Robin. But here's what I think is the biggest takeaway. And Tyrone, actually, Tyleem, you watched it. Me and Ty watched this show. We've been watching it for a while. And I think that one of the biggest takeaways from this season, in addition to being introduced to Red Hood, is this actor that we are coming to know as the Scarecrow. If you're not watching Titans season 3, once you start watching, watch the Scarecrow. This guy is killing it. He makes everything. First of all, Tyrone, I'm going to spoil this for you. There's a scene where the Scarecrow, is it Batman or no, Robin, Nightwing, the first one, Dick Grayson, goes.
Well, I'm just confused now, so you can't spoil shit. So I'm kidding. Go ahead.
All right, my bad. Dick Grayson goes to visit Scarecrow, and Scarecrow doesn't cough up any information until what does he request?
Some marijuana.
He needs that high grade sativa.
Yup.
You got my.
You have my stuff.
My
Yo, he pulls up on him with the dispensary's worth of fucking good Swedish chiva, fresh from Samson.
Yes.
if you watch
Samson.
Have Baked, I want to talk to Samson. And he proceeds to spill his guts. But I just love that gritty, dark DC shit where they could have made him request a bottle of Jack. He could have requested some cigarettes. They was like, no, we're going to write in the script that he wants a big ass bag of weed, and that's
a specific weed.
Grade A.
He had specific.
He says, I only smoke the best.
I only smoke the best. That's it. Don't bring me that backyard boogie because you won't get nothing out of me.
Yes, bro.
I think my favorite part about that was like when he got his bag and he was like, oh yeah, this is some good stuff. He started breaking up. He goes, you got papers?
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
And then he was like, what about a lighter? He's like, no, I ain't got that. He's like, it's all right. I have my resources. Right, and he just like puts it up. Like, what?
Yes, bro. Thank you, Yaz. See, Yaz gets it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that. I don't know, whatever reason it was. It made. First of all, I was like, oh, okay, I like this guy, whoever that is. You know what I'm saying? Because we were doing the same thing at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Number one. Number two, like they do that thing like they do in some of these Marvel series, like in like Dark, The Blind,
Daredevil.
Daredevil, and like where they introduce you to somebody, and you're like, oh, this is Joe Smo character, but at the end you're like, oh shit, like he was the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and so right now he's starting to rear his head as the Red Hood's. Basically, his master to the apprentice. You know, Red Hood is the Padawan in this particular instance, but the devious nature of this Scarecrow is very titillating. If I could use one of my words of the day, and I think that it's just going to make this series, this season specifically, one of the most exciting seasons, frankly, because first of all, we've already got Robin versus Robin action, which is dope. All right, because I think that's one of the fascinating things about the Dark Knight sagas is the Robin sagas. But now that this Scarecrow's in the picture, Scarecrow brings a new element because with Scarecrow you get fear gas, right?
Yep.
With fear gas in all of the series that have embodied Gotham, including the series Gotham, wherever you get fear gas, you get these CGI scenes where they show you how it looks from the perspective of whoever is under fear. So I'm looking forward to them using this because in Batman Begins, I think that was one of the most slept on features of Batman Begins is how dope Batman looked when that fear gas was around him and he looked like a freaking screaming demon and shit. I don't think that the Scarecrow got his flowers in Batman Begins, and I think that he's about to get his flowers in Titans. What say you, Tylene?
As far as Scarecrow getting his flowers, I mean, I can't disagree with you at all. I mean, this dude on this last episode, the first thing he does when he gets away from Nightwing or Dick is roll up a fatty.
Yes.
Or blaze up a fatty. I'm talking about a big fatty. Like I was jealous. I was jealous of what he was smoking. I was like, damn, and that's that good shit too. He got that good shit in there like that. But then to see that he's a real weed head. Did you see his reaction when Red Hood knocked it out of his hand? He was like, he was knocked it out of his hand. He was like, oh no. Like, he was like, yo, that's that good shit. You just knocked this shit. Oh, and hold up. And he slowed him, he calmed him down at that point. He was like, yo, hold on, man. Hey man, listen, you gotta get your mind right and calm down. Matter of fact, let me pick this good shit up. Let you hit this shit. Because matter of fact, I got what you need, and he gave him what he needed.
Yeah, that's right.
So that he can get back to what he needed, and I like that about Scarecrow.
Yes,
he has his priorities in order, and I like a man who's got his priorities in order, knows what's most important, and that big J on the ground was very important.
And then, okay, my next question was like towards the end of the last episode, like where the fuck did he get the bong from?
Oh, well,
he was in his cell, right? And then he brought him another bag of weed, right? And he gave it to him. And this dude's already back there, like, oh, you got. And I was like, he's in jail. Where did they get? He can't get a ball.
Well, I can give you one possible hiding place for it.
Where's that, Tyrone? If you might go ahead and. Where is that, Tyrone? Where is that?
Right behind the toilet, like there's a little space. I don't know what y'all were thinking.
I thought we were back to Ant-Man and Thanos again.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, guys. You know me better than that. You know me better than that.
All right. Well, yes, I will say, I think that this was a scene that happened after he had already revealed that he had access to a. No, wait a minute. At the very end, are you at the end of the? Are you caught up to episode?
Yeah, I'm caught up.
Well, they broken out. He's not in jail anymore.
When he last time we saw him in jail, before he broke out.
Yeah.
He had a bong, and he was smoking it, and he had to put it down because he was getting more shit from. That was last time he saw Dick.
Oh, well, I mean, he said he had resources. Remember,
he said they're giving him weed. They're bringing him, like, and it wasn't just like they brought him a little nickel bag of weed. I mean, dude brought him a good ounce and a half of weed.
Yes.
It wasn't. And so what's not to think that they're going to give him weed, but they're not going to give him a pipe. I mean, like, I don't know what his situation is other than we know he was a brilliant scientist at one point. We do know that. We do know that we know that they're keeping him in isolation, and that they're catering to him for whatever reason. And I don't know, we don't even know why. They have not established why they're catering to him.
I mean, because here's the beauty of it, and Steph, you could appreciate this, like, as a scholar yourself. The way we're indirectly introduced to the Scarecrow character in this particular film, in this particular series, is through Jason Todd having to be forced to go into Bruce Wayne says, listen, if you want to be Robin anymore, you have to go to psychotherapy. Like you have to go see a psychoanalyst. You're fucked up in the head. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just like, look, bro, I can't with you no more. Go see somebody to fix that head of yours. And he's like, yeah, fuck you, Bruce. Yeah, I can handle it. He's like, all right, well, listen, I tell you what, you can handle it, but not with Robin, because you can't be Robin until you go see a psychoanalyst. So Jason Todd goes to the psychoanalyst. He's like, all right, just I'm fucked up in the head. Just give me my pills, and then I'm gonna go about my way. And the psychoanalyst is like, why would I do that? He's like, oh, I've been through foster care. I've been through all this, that, the third. And I know that's how it works. I come to you, I tell you some shit about my mom, and you write me a prescription, and that's it. And she's like, all right, well, whatever. And so then he notices that there's a picture of her with the Scarecrow and a couple of other scholars on her table, right, Steph? And he's like, you knew the Scarecrow? And she's like, well, I didn't know him as a Scarecrow. When I knew him, he was just Jonathan Crane. But he was one of the most. He was just one of my master's students who had an obsession with fear. But he was one of the most brilliant minds that I had worked with. So now, instead of just some devious asshole who just wants to be maniacal and take over the world, you're like, oh shit, like, hold up, man. This dude is like some smart, intellectual, sound thinking. Like, so now this image of some dude who's just locked up wants to smoke weed. It's like, no. This dude, there's some devious shit behind this dude, and we have yet to really scratch the surface as to how far this goes. Now, fast forward, we learned that basically I don't know, and I'm hoping that maybe we could discuss this. And since only 3 out of 5 of us have seen it, I wanted to talk to you all about the Lazarus effect. And whether or not we were looking at in this most recent episode, if we were looking at any League of Shadows, League of Assassins, Ra's al Ghul type of
mashup,
the waters of the Lazarus pit.
That's what it was, right? I mean,
right.
But now
he even said Ra's al Ghul. He even said his name too.
Okay. So now we have Ra's al Ghul, who hasn't been in Titans yet. Has he been in Titans?
No.
He's been in other shows, but he hasn't been in Titans yet. Now we have the pool of which they use to revive everybody in the League of Shadows, Ra's al Ghul is in this, and we haven't been introduced to Ra's al Ghul yet. So now we've got the Scarecrow, we've got potential for Ra's al Ghul, the League of Assassins or Shadows, depending on which version you want to give us. You know what I'm saying? And all that's in the first 4 episodes of this series. So I don't know why I'm feeling like this one is already panning out to be one of the most revealing series of all of the ones that we've seen up to date. I ain't gonna lie, I very much miss Raven. I really wish Raven was a part of this. I think that the first season was so dope to see her origin story. I mean, talk about taking the X-Men rogue story and adding crack to it and just making it even doper. Like to have a dark sorcerer spirit, you know, say like living inside of you and having no control over it, I think is a dope. So I think that you'll ultimately enjoy it. But I don't know, guys. For Tyrone, excuse me, Bad Ty. For those of us that have seen it, what do you think we're going from here? What do you think is our next step? This most recent episode I thought was one of the best Titans episodes up to date. Frankly, one of the best, not the best, but one of the best.
Okay. Well, I think what we're going to see is definitely, I feel like we're going to be getting a lot of people back after the Titans realize that, you know, Ra's al Ghul in the fountain is a possibility because like you said, like they saw Robin get, you know what I'm saying? Like the Batman saw his face mashed up. Like we saw him before he went into the fountain and he was dead. He was definitely fucking dead. So, you know what I'm saying? Like when Batman, I think what's going to happen is Batman is ultimately going to find out that he's still alive and he's going to be like, how? You know what I'm saying? And then that's going to lead to, I think Batman is going to be how we find out Ra's al Ghul and, you know what I'm saying, like find the fountain and everything. Because, you know, Batman's, he's always in people's shit. You know what I'm saying? Like whether he wants to be or not, he's always in people's shit. So I think like low key, he kind of maybe knew about Ra's al Ghul because like obviously, you know, Ra's al Ghul is in other, you know, DC, you know, like in other, you know, shows and movies. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a very significant character. So I mean, why wouldn't Batman not know about him already? You know what I'm saying? Right. So my theory is that, you know, somehow, you know, Batman's gonna snap out of his whole like crazy psychosis because Jason Todd died and he killed Joker because of it. You know what I'm saying? To get revenge. I think he's gonna come back, and then when that happens, somehow we're gonna find Raven honing in on her powers and the Themyscira. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she's, you know, becoming like, she doesn't know her new powers. You know what I'm saying? She's learning them. And I feel like she went to that island so that she could, in a safe way, figure out how to own them in again. You know what I'm saying? Like how to control them herself. Because right now she's kind of just like controlling what she can. You know what I'm saying? But she's realizing that every day she's getting stronger and she can't do it around her friends because she's potentially can hurt them. So that was why he let her go. You know what I'm saying? Because he kind of knew that was like, you know, your powers are changing. You're right. You know, like these women, they're Amazonian. They're not like us. They can deal with the repercussions of your actions, basically. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, yes, it sucked that Raven's gone, but at the same time, like she needed that development and that growth. That's why she left. But also she's going to either bring back Donna alive or she's going to bring back her corpse to put it into the fucking fountain so that Donna can come back. That's my theory.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh, wow.
And then like if Donna comes back, obviously, then they're going to probably go and see if they can dig up fucking Aqua Boy and go and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Because that was her love. You know what I mean? Like, so if that can happen, then she's going to, I don't know. There's just so many different spinoffs that could possibly happen, but I think like that's how that is all going to play out. As for everything else with Scarecrow, I think he's on the opposite fence of like what he was before and what he was, you know what I'm saying? Like what he became because of his obsession. And now he's a different kind of person. So I honestly think that like with him escaping, he might actually be a key character into like our, you know, like whole anti-hero kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's more skating on those lines. You know what I mean? Like now that he's not in prison, it's not like he has a choice of who he interacts with, but I feel like those choices are going to maybe define like what he does now. I don't think he's just going to be all bad and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see Jason Todd. Definitely. I like how, you know, they did his spinoff with him being, you know, the Red Hood and everything, because he looks very dark and very you know, like something is definitely conflicting over him, you know what I mean? And like we did get to see that stuff he was huffing, but we didn't know what it was, you know what I'm saying? So I liked how in this new episode that they let us know it was fear gas, and that like he gave him the formula to do it, but then he didn't actually give him everything he needed. He wanted to see if he was able to do it himself, which he was, and he tweaked it and made it better. So I don't know, I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to play out, and if Jason's going to end up using his fear gas on Scarecrow. That's what I'm kind of like.
Great, holy shit, damn! Wow. And that's why Yaz is Yaz. Goddamn it! Like, yo, I couldn't have said none of that better. And I've forgotten all about the reverse engineered fear gas. Like, he basically, you know, took fear gas and was like, well, we know how to give people fear.
Yeah.
So there has to be a way to reverse it so that we can take fear away.
Right.
And that's what the Red Hood becomes. He's basically
fearless
Robin without fear. You know what I'm saying? Talim, anything to add to that, bro?
I don't know necessarily. First of all, no one else knows that the Lazarus Pit actually exists at this point. Because what we saw was a flashback. It actually said it was 3 months ago, and it was showing us, you know, what led up to him becoming Red Hood. So, so no one actually saw the Lazarus Pit outside of, you know, Red Hood and Scarecrow. They're the only ones that know that it exists at this point. Another thing about the Lazarus Pit is going into the Lazarus Pit, when you come back, you're never the same.
Yep.
So the idea that they would put Donna and Aqualad in the Lazarus Pit, first of all, Bruce is not going to let that happen. Secondly, Nightwing probably would not let that happen either. So
but he wants Donna back. You never know.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna really come down to Raven using her powers to somehow bring them back. Raven is powerful.
True.
Raven
Raven's
has the ability. Raven is like Scarlet Witch, basically. She's like, you know what I'm saying, in essence. So that the whole reason Raven is not here, the whole reason Raven is gone is because, and they said it in the like second episode, I think, they said Raven is trying to find a way to bring Donna back. That is specifically why she is gone. So I don't think the Lazarus Pit or the waters of the Lazarus Pit are going to be used on any of the Titans. With where do I see it going? But first, let me say this. I hate Batman. I hate this version that they're using of Batman. Like he's so... I can't take him seriously on.
Man. Like, I'm right with you.
I kind of like him though. He's smug. He's arrogant. He's, you know, he's like I don't know. He's what I would consider. He's what?
He's British.
He's British.
He's British. They live in Gotham, not England. So why?
Okay.
Why
but so was Alfred was British, wasn't he though?
He was.
Yeah, but he was
hired
immigrant.
Like, hello, kid.
He was there on a green card.
I mean, I hate to put it like that, but that's what he was. He was hired help. He came from England, probably looking for a job, and they was like, "Hey, we got something for you." You know what I mean? But you know, his last name's Wayne. You know, you know, I don't know. It's not Thornhill.
Stephanie, please.
I'm just saying, man.
A bit more Batman slander, if I may. I just want to know where he gets off telling anyone to go to therapy when Batman's entire personality is unprocessed childhood trauma. It is the pot calling the kettle psycho. And I think that he needs to see a psychotherapist of his own. Also, you reminded me what his last name was, just made me think that Bruce Dwayne Wayne would be an excellent mashup cosplay. Please, someone make it happen. Thank you.
Yes. Give me that mashup.
Stephanie, he is in therapy, by the way. He the therapist that he recommended is his therapist.
Okay.
So and also Superman's therapist, and probably all of the Justice League's therapists, because she did kind of throw a little joint out. She was like, you know, if you do what I asked you to do, then maybe I'll tell you about, you know, Superman, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so she's clearly Superman and the Justice League, because not only is she his therapist, but she knows that he's Batman. She knows. She knows these guys' identities and stuff. So they are very trusting of her as a therapist and everything like that. So yeah, he probably needs more sessions, but yeah, he did actually refer him to his own therapist.
Okay.
Okay, well, listen, at the end of the day, man, the series is worth watching. I definitely think that whether you're a DC or Marvel fan, that this is a good show for comic book fans all together. You know what I'm saying? If you have any idea of any Batman lore, then this is up your alley. I mean, one of the most intriguing things about Titans is that it's basically a ring of characters of which all of them. Well, actually, that's not true anymore because the first season there were a couple of them that didn't have like big powers,
right?
Because like Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. But now we've got Starfire, who's got big powers. We've got Superboy, who's got big powers. We've got Crypto, who's got.
Crypto is a badass.
Yeah, Crypto ain't no bullshit either. Now, you know what I'm saying? Superboy's dog, and of course, we've even got Beast. All of them are doing their thing, and I just definitely recommend. That if you are if you're a fan of any comic book, that you could check it out. So
I do have one question for you guys before we pivot off of this though, for Talim and Vince, since you guys have seen it. So Blackfire, the last episode, we get to see her, or like the second to last one, we get to see her come back to Earth. Obviously, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I guess she never left after she had that encounter with Starfire, you know what I'm saying? Like through the guy, I can't remember the guy's name. It was like super hard. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't remember his name anyway. But she came back and now she was her. Remember? Vidal or it was something. It was something with a V. I can't remember his name. Anyway, but Blackfire came back. And she like actually embodied herself. Like she took over that mom. Remember that was like at the store with the two girls. And like she started walking off. My question is like, are we going to see some conflict with Blackfire and Starfire? And like, how is that all going to play out? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really wanting to see how that's going to work because remember, Blackfire wants Starfire to co-queen with her in Tamaran, and she's like, "Fuck you, I'm not doing that." You know what I'm saying? You killed my parents, like to get to your spot. You killed everybody to get to your spot. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going down. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to work out.
Well, I mean, I don't have anything to add to that because I feel the same way. But I will say that I thoroughly enjoy the sibling rivalry between the two of them. I like that they kept it simple, that they didn't make it about, oh, you had powers and you're so much like it was literally, hey, well, when you did this, mom didn't care, and like when I did it, they were like, go to your room, and it was like, hi, like it's so trivial, childish, it's so humanoid, you know what I'm saying? It's so relatable. If anybody on there has a brother or sister, especially if you have a younger brother or sister, and you saw how your parents would have quickly whooped your ass for some shit that they just get a slap on the wrist for, like that's what this is. Like this is her sister being mad that she was treated better, even though she was royalty, like in the line for the throne. Like she's like, yo, fuck that shit. Like mom and dad like you more. Fuck you for that shit. And she's like, bitch, get over. Like we was kids. So I don't give a fuck, bitch. I had to grow up with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And now she's coming down to earth with it. She killed her man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, damn. I don't.
Kind of, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To an extent. I'm so sorry, bro. I'm terrible with spoilers. Lisa's in the comments like, why do I even watch any of these shows? Let's just watch out.
But it's so Thor and Loki. It is.
It's Thor and Loki, except for there's no adoption clause in this particular era. Like that's her actual sister. So I'm eager to see it, but I honestly feel like they're giving us they're setting us up for a potential misdirection. They're leading us to believe at the end, the conclusion of this last episode, you would believe that they were now going to team up and like kind of act as partners in a benevolent sense. And I'm getting the sense that that's probably going to be one of the things where it's like Loki, like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you for right now
until I get my power.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? And then at some point in time, I'm gonna. So that's my theory. I don't know about Todd Leem. I don't know how you feel that that's the same way.
I mean, it's hard to say. I just want to give a shout out to Black Beauty and Black Excellence for them including these two beautiful, gorgeous, powerful women on screen. I'm always here for it when I see them, on screen, and I mean, these are some beautiful sisters. I think that Blackfire is like she looks like a model, like she's like 6'8". I don't even know, but she's tall. But yo, like it's really I don't know if necessarily it's gonna be like, a team up, but I think right now she just showed her sister that despite you killing our parents, despite me knowing you're an evil ass, I cannot let somebody else did. It's the typical sibling stuff. I can whoop your ass all day, but as soon as somebody else put their hands on you, we all going to fight. That's what I'm like. So yeah, man, I don't know what their relationship is going to be from this point on. So I really want to. I'm really going to tune in to see what it is, though.
Yeah, man. Yeah, however you chop it up, Titans is holding it down for the DC universe right now. DC is fucking up in the movie territory, but they're doing okay.
They're trying to fix
the TV show development. You got to give it up for Arrow. Even the last season or two of Black Lightning were fairly decent. I mean, I don't know about the last season.
Yeah, I was about to say last season was.
I don't know about the last season.
Before that, though, I'll give them.
But I could easily see a Black Lightning spinoff. And again, just like I said at MegaCon, I'm thoroughly looking forward to the Static Shock live action series or movie. I think it's going to kill. So looking forward to those. We've bantered a lot, guys. I didn't mean for it to go this far, but it does anyway. We can't help it. Stephanie, you're joining us for the first time. And the funny thing is that we tried to say, all right, y'all, this week we're going to do 90 minutes and we're going to get off or we're going to do 2 hours. And then we get on and a day later, we're like, you know what? Maybe we should, it's like midnight, we're like, you know what? Maybe we should wrap this up, But before we go today, I have to do this with y'all, especially now that we got a Marvel fanatic like us, Stephanie, on the panel, and hopefully, Stephanie, you'll come back. Like you jive right in. You know what I'm saying?
Please, yes. This was lovely.
Thank you. Awesome. So,
awesome.
Now that we've kind of done our DC talk. You remember that Christian rap group, DC Talk?
Yes.
Now we done DC Talk. She said,
it's like no.
All right, welcome back, Tyrone. So we've done our DC Talk. I wanted to delve back into our Marvel brand. And real quick, before we get into this last question, Minnie has been lighting up the comment. One time for Minnie, by the way. Roberto, Minnie, Baby, Grogu, Font. You know Minnie? Stephanie?
Oh no, I just want to applaud for Friends.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I mean, Minnie, he's an actor. He's an actor too. You know what I'm saying? So I know you and the improv, and y'all will probably share the stage or two. I wouldn't be surprised. He's a favorite here in the local Orlando comedy community, but he also plays Craig in a version of Friday that they have on and Lisa has actually gone to see him a couple times. But he also is an honorary Blerd member. He's been on the panel many times. We saw him at MegaCon, but he keeps bringing up the fact that I don't know if y'all, Shang-Chi is the next big major Marvel movie to be released, in the 10 Rings. They've been teasing this movie since Iron Man 2, if I'm not mistaken, where they start talking about the 10 Rings from Shang-Chi. And it's a big deal. I haven't seen any of the trailers, all right, because I refuse. And I know that, Armageddon's in them and, all that, not Armageddon, what's Abomination? Abomination. My bad. Abomination is, but evidently, and I just looked this up, and I wasn't even fully aware of this, but Minnie is putting us on to a scenario, something that's going on. Evidently, there's some folks that are threatening to boycott Shang-Chi. Okay, you have some insight on this. What's going on, Stephanie?
So Awkwafina, some statements that she had made about not doing accents in her character work because she doesn't want to be like a minstrel show as she represents the Asian community, kind of came back to haunt her because her entire rap personality as Awkwafina is just a terrible black accent. And people are like, oh, she grew up in New York. Yeah, but not the part where she was hanging out with people who talked like that and where she would have developed that naturally. It was very clearly her. I'm gonna have a rap persona, so I'm gonna talk like my idea of a stereotypical Black person. So
wow.
she's very against using Asian accents to make a mockery of her people. But when it's a Black accent, it's all good, apparently.
Oh, snap. Yo, Tyrone, did you know about this?
Yeah. I mean, Awkwafina's been around for a while, and I've never really been a fan of hers. I've never liked that aspect of hers. But also I'm, for as far as Marvel movies, as far as like this movie, I'm not gonna let her ruin this movie for me.
Right.
I'm like, because we should have been having this conversation about Awkwafina a long time ago.
Right.
I'm not gonna let her ruin this Marvel movie. I hope that she does address it, because it's very obvious she has absolutely been this person, and using kind of that, using that, are basically using the culture to become famous and, get herself into these positions. So, it's without a doubt, she definitely has to do some addressing, especially after she's taken the stance of like, I don't do this. It's like, well, you don't do it until it suits you and until it's a certain way. So, I think the criticism of her is absolutely fair.
Well, here's all right. Here's where I kind of all right. Let me play devil's advocate here. All right, because I don't really fuck with Awkwafina like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I could not. If she walked past me, if she showed up at my doorstep today, I would be like, "Thank you for my package." You know what I'm saying? And then I would go about my day. But I'm just gonna assume that maybe Awkwafina was not born and raised in an Asian town. All right, and maybe is a legitimate New Yorker. All right, am I far off base yet? Does anybody on the panel have any true knowledge of Awkwafina's
Forest Hills, Queens.
Okay, so she's from Queens.
Forest Hills.
I was gonna say she's from the nice part of Queens. Like she's from the bougie ass part. I'm a New Yorker. She's from the bougie ass part of Queens. Like let's be
straight. She's not from Shanghai. Is my point. Like she's not from Tokyo.
She's not from Chinatown, New York either. So
can I speak to this real quick? Like
go ahead. The New Yorker
was a lot of kids, man. Like at the end of the day. Yo, whether you grew up in Forest Hills, Queens, or you grew up in Albany, New York, that shit don't matter, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as long as you up top and you gonna come in contact with other people that speak. Like, if she came in contact at any time, whether she went to school with Black kids or anybody, right. Like there are plenty of Asians, Filipinos, Chinese, Koreans that I grew up with that talk like this, that talk just like this. And it ain't got nothing to do with them growing up on my block or nothing. They come to school and people latch on to what they latch on to, whatever that case may be. So I'm not saying like she grew up in Hollis, Queens, or Hollis, New York, you know what I'm saying, or any hoods in New York. But at the end of the day, for her to talk like however she talks, people be so critical of everything. But if you wanna violate this woman, if you want to cancel her, then cancel her. She ain't the star of this movie. She is not the star of this movie. So like that, to be over here talking about, I ain't gonna watch Shang-Chi because Awkwafina said that, then cancel Awkwafina. Don't cancel Shang-Chi. Yo, they ain't got shit to do with that. That's crazy, man.
Can you do that, Shot? Ty, can you actually cancel somebody without canceling?
Yeah, they did it with Cara Dune.
Well, what they did with Cara Dune was they took her off the show. Exactly. But this would be like, look, I'm not watching Mandalorian anymore because of Gina Carano. Nobody said that. They was like, get this bitch the fuck off of my show. Get this hoe off of my show. I don't want her on the show because I want to keep watching it. Nobody was like, oh, no. I'm not going to watch this Marvel movie because of this one character in it. You know what I'm saying? Now, there was the only other thing that I could think of that was remotely close to this for right now would be kind of, and this is very, very trivial. I got you, Bad Ty. When Amber Heard was going through her shit with Johnny Depp, there was some uproar when Aquaman came out, and as a result, Amber Heard is not in Aquaman 2, and they're talking about Emilia Clarke taking her place, which is a good replacement. If you're gonna replace Amber Heard with somebody, it's definitely Khaleesi, right? You know what I'm saying? Sure. You're that's a step up from where I stand. You know what I'm saying? Sure. There's also some hints about them being upset with the actress that played Shuri, because she was speaking a lot of anti-vaccination stuff, which I mean is her right, but it's also problematic for the brand. And listen, look, Shuri is not alone. You know, Shuri, there's a lot of people that feel the way that Shuri does, especially coming from where Shuri comes from. So it's not like she's saying a bunch of stuff that's completely outside the scope of mainstream. I mean, Shuri's speaking from every Black woke group in Facebook that's like, no, don't let them put you, don't put that shit in your arm, goddamn it. You know they're gonna put that shit, they're gonna monitor you. I mean, not your phone, but that vaccine gonna monitor you, and then you're gonna turn into a vampire when you turn 65. And you're gonna be be sterile and be completely impotent, and you know what I'm saying. So I mean, look, that stuff's out there. She's just mimicking. I don't want to say mimicking, but she's just portraying that aspect of it. But this is completely different. I don't know Awkwafina, but I can guess that if she's a hip hop artist, she probably says yo 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 and probably says y'all. You know what I'm saying? And that's what hip hop artists do. I don't know if that's. Look, Macklemore does that. I mean, I would say, is that cultural? Is Eminem? I mean, are we going to, did we cancel 8 Mile because of cultural appropriation? Because last I checked, Eminem was not one of us. He's a hip hop artist.
I think there's a little bit of I think it's not so much that she sounds like that, is that she sounds like that, and then she came out like, I don't do Asian accents because I don't believe that this kind of thing is good for, you know what I mean? So like she kind of she appropriates Black culture. I think that's fair to say. I mean, we have seen that from her career. But and it happens all the time, you know what I mean? Like, I think for the most part, people just ignore it when it happens. But then she came out like, oh, I'm above that kind of thing. And it's like, okay, hold on. Like, be self-aware. You know what I mean? Like, she could have just not acted like she was holier than thou and nobody would have said anything. So I think it's less about, there being a big backlash about nothing and more about her just like, just have some self-awareness. If you're, don't be so obviously hypocritical about a subject, real loud and real proud about it, and expect people to be like, or don't expect people to be like, wait a minute.
It is the equivalent of Eminem saying, I won't watch Titans because it's too violent. Like, what? You listen to your music? Huh?
Yeah, I just want to say this. Like, sometimes things can be taken out of text and out of tone, because if she is from Queens and she is energetic and passionate like I am, and somebody asks me, then, and I respond, but it seems like I'm being boisterous because that's just the way that I am. I have that kind of, that personality and that persona. Sometimes these things can be misconstrued. And I don't know if that was the case. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt, because one of the things that I want to point out is Awkwafina, since Awkwafina has been on the scene, has been talking this way. Like, it's not like she started talking this way for the movie. She has a whole series on Netflix that she talks this way. So like, at the end of the day, if people really had such a problem with the way she was talking, or even her comments, it would have been better. Well, of course, the comments came later, but I think in the examples that you gave, Vince, if they were still in production of the movie, it would have been maybe feasible for them to switch out and grab somebody else. But because they're already in the end, production's done, the movie is ready to go, there's nothing to address at this point. So those other people that you were naming, they were still in these were movies that were still in production. It's at the time it seemed more feasible to just go ahead and switch out and go with somebody else and alleviate the drama. That's different. You know what I mean? Right. So with Awkwafina, again, I'm from up north. I come around white girls, white boys that talk this way, and it's not like they trying to necessarily emulate anything. But if I'm growing up around a whole bunch of people that talk like this, guess what? I'm gonna talk like this. Yep. And that's kind of what it is. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean that's the nutshell. I mean, before I talk about boycotting the movie, I might boycott her scene. I'm like, oh, when she comes on, I'm not watching. But I'm not about to be like, yo, get the fuck, I'm not gonna watch. What's up, Stephanie?
I am not boycotting 10 Rings. I'm definitely going to watch it. But to echo what Tai T said a little bit, if you listen to Awkwafina speak in an interview, her character voice is not her natural voice.
Mhm.
She very clearly made a career out of doing an imitation of Black people.
Mhm.
And I'm not even saying that she can't do that. But after doing that, she made a point when nobody asked her of saying, I will not do Asian accents. I will not make a mockery of my people by imitating a stereotypical Asian accent after making a career out of imitating a stereotypical Black accent. So it's fine to imitate a stereotype when it's Black people, but she has a moral stand against doing it with Asians. That is the problem. She's a hypocrite.
Oh wow. Okay. Woo.
Well, I just want to say this. My mother's phone voice is not her regular voice. My mother's professional voice is not her regular voice. My mother My mother talks hood as shit when ain't nobody looking. But soon as that phone pick up, because she's a real estate agent, and it's not that my mom's being fake. Like, it's just that she's conducting herself in a way that makes her personable. And that's what I'm like. Right. So,
but I want to slow down because code switching has more nuance than that. It's not necessarily the way that makes her personable. It's that we over time, white supremacy has made us equate professionalism with a white sound. So therefore, a lot of Black folks have learned to code switch in order to become successful, or to basically get by or be taken seriously.
And we do call it our white people voice too. Like, I mean,
right.
And
it's
what we call it. That is
yeah. So, but it's a little bit. And so I think the problem with the Awkwafina thing is that when she code switches to Black scent in order to kind of like play this character, and then which even still people were just like, all right, fine, it happens. And then she was like, I'm above this, and I would never do that kind of thing. And then you're like, well, wait a minute though. So it's more, I think it's more like, be self-aware in this situation. And so it's, again, I don't think a lot of people are having a lot of issue with the fact that she does code switch or that she has appropriated the culture. I think is that she has just kind of like made herself to be this, this squeaky clean person who would never do such a thing, even though it's very clear that she has.
Okay. Well, this is where it gets complex, I think, because of the anytime you step into Black culture, watch where the fuck you step, because it's a minefield, right? So if you're going to use our culture for financial gain, for popularity, you best make sure you represent the culture well. So I think that one of Awkwafina, even though I'm not as familiar with her as I would like to be, one of her biggest issues here is that she's using Black culture. And Black folks, we hella sensitive, we hella particular, and we are very protective of our culture. So if you're going to be talking like us, then you better be talking with us. You better be standing with us. You better be marching with us. You better be fighting with us. Don't just use our shit for your own gain to increase your views, spins, and sales, and then turn around and then talk shit about the Black community. Now, having said that, I don't think that that's what's happened. I think that she has grown up. Like, I think that there's an element of all of these all of this bullshit happening at once. This is a shit salad, so to speak, where we have a girl we're calling it emulating Black culture, but have y'all ever seen this show called Fresh Off the Boat?
Yes. Oh my God.
All right, it's a show called Fresh Off the Boat. It's based in Orlando. It's about Asians. It's based on a Korean rapper's life as he moved to the United States and how he grew up loving hip hop. And as a result, he ended up rocking, the Nelly bandana and the throwback jerseys, and just was overwhelmingly influenced by Black culture. As obviously we're so dope, who wouldn't be, right? And so he begins to to kind of emulate what he thinks is cool. Now, does he do it as a, like from a young age? Is he really realizing that he's culturally appropriating? No. But as he gets older, that sentiment, those actions are cemented into his personality. That's who he is now. And he doesn't realize probably until he's 23, 24, maybe, if he ever does, that, oh shit, this whole time I was doing a whole Black scent, and I didn't even realize it. So there's a sense of innocence that I could see coming from Awkwafina that I am almost willing to give her a pass for, especially as a New Yorker. Let's be real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like New Yorkers, they have a similar sound. You know what I'm saying? You know, no matter what sound you come from. Now, here's where it gets tricky. And this is what this is going to cause us to extend today's show, especially since it's my last show for a month. All right, I got to leave, guys. I'm heading on a journey. All right, I've got to get. I'm going delivering some packages with Futurama for the next couple of months. But here's where it gets a little tricky. Like Awkwafina, if she was a white person, then we would know that this was just all cultural appropriation. But Awkwafina not only has awareness of the Black culture and quote unquote white culture, but she has awareness of Asian culture. And I do think that there is a specific resistance to play the stereotypical Asian culture, Asian person for people of Asian descent that are second or third generation. I present to you, to the jury and judge, Exhibit A, Aziz Ansari. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Aziz Ansari from The Master of None, Aziz Ansari from Parks and Recreation, from his stand-up specials. But Aziz Ansari, if you look at him, you're like, oh, okay, you know, he could be Indian, he from Middle Eastern. But if you ask Aziz Ansari where he was from, he will say North Carolina. And you be like, well, yeah, but you know, where you from? He be like, dude, I'm from North Carolina, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's it. North Carolina. I talk like this, and it's all weird, but I'm really just from North Carolina. Now, some people hear Aziz Ansari talk, and he sounds like he's imitating Black people. Like he talks with like a Southern, he talks with a North Carolina accent, so to speak. But he's like, yo, I'm from North Carolina. But then he goes to try to infiltrate Hollywood, and he starts auditioning, and he gets an agent, and then they start requesting him for certain roles, and he refuses to take any role that makes him talk like this. And hello, my name is Ariman, and I'm here to work at the 7-Eleven. And he refuses to take those roles because he's like, that's not how all of us are. Now, India, for those of y'all don't know geography, is in Asia. Okay. All right. Newsflash. Yes, India is an Asian country. Okay. It's not a continent. It's an Asian country. So people that are Indian are actually South Asian. Okay. So he actually is Asian. Now, that speaks to his core. Like, he does not want people to think that everybody that looks like him is Abu Nahasapina Petalam from The Simpsons. So he makes a concerted effort to not take those roles. Another person who feels the same way, Exhibit B, Mindy Kaling. If you watch The Office, then this young lady right here sounds more like one of the white girls from the Wayans Brothers movie than she does anybody from any, Slumdog Millionaire movie. And her thing, she says the same thing. I noticed a similarity in these two plights. They're like, she's like, look, I'm not taking any role where they try to make me, be, yes, I lie, a whole new world. Like, she refuses to do it because for her, she feels like it is putting her in a box. Now, how does this draw a parallel to Awkwafina? Well, Awkwafina is being it sounds like she's trying to be what she thinks is just a New Yorker. Sounds like she's influenced by what she considers maybe hip hop culture, maybe not Black culture, I don't know. But ultimately, she has already decided, she's predetermined that she is not going to glorify this Asian image of people that they're trying to force her to embody. She has taken a stance against it. And despite the fact that it makes her a hypocrite because she is emulating Black culture but won't do a Asian voice, I think that what she's saying is, listen, this version of me who sounds like I do when I talk is me. I am not that Asian person, and people keep wanting me to be. I've probably been teased about it my whole life. I don't want those problems, and I refuse to give any credence to the notion that I should have to bow down or carry water for anybody that thinks that is what role I should play. So I think that's what makes this a little more. And
I don't think anybody's saying that she should take those kind of roles. Nobody is saying that she should absolutely be down for doing, stereotypical and offensive Asian accents. That is absolutely, like, she's absolutely right for not taking those roles. I would also appreciate it if she showed the same kind of care for stereotypical Black accents. and that kind of thing. And I think that's what it is. It's like it's the I'll have it one way but not the other way kind of thing. So that's and you know, so it's, yes, she's right about you know, combating negative Asian stereotypes, and yeah, maybe it's time for her to also start to combat negative Black stereotypes.
Yeah, but I think, and to go to Vince's point, and this is again because I come from up north, there is this misconception, because I grew up around Italians too, and some of the Italians would sound like they're talking Black, but that's not what they're doing. Their accent kind of the way that they enunciate words and pronounce stuff, and the influxes in their voice make it seem as though they're talking Black, but they're not. They're just talking like they've learned how to pronunciate and enunciate. That's just what it is. And so sometimes when you hear these people, you think they're putting on, like, now I know when you go far left and you start saying things that we say, that's different. That's when you start using our slang, and stuff like that. Then I get it. But if she's talking and it just sounds like she's talking Black, and you hear her and you're like, yeah, I know that's not how she talk. Listen, I've grown up around these people. I'm telling you, there's people that sound like this. I've grown up around Filipino girls and guys that literally talk to you, and you'll be like, yo, and it's not, maybe they do pick up on certain things in the culture. I mean, like, our culture is fly. It's just what it is, man.
But I'm with you. I totally agree. There are a lot of people like that, but also, like, that's not like who she is all the time. You know what I mean? She picks and chooses.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and I think, and that's the thing. Like she said, like,
we don't know her to say that. That's what I'm saying. Like, so tough to say.
But what she has put out for us to see, whether it's like Stephanie said earlier in interviews where she's, you know, comes off as an interview as, you know, sort of, I guess, if anything, just kind of no accent whatsoever either way. She's just kind of talking, you know, whatever
voice,
right, what we might call white voice sort of thing. And then of course when it's time to, you know, be Aquafina, you know, then she jumps into the Black scent, and then, you know, she jumps back out when, you know, so it's the picking and choosing. I think that and again, I don't think anybody really had a problem with it until she was like, I don't do that, and everybody was like, but yes, you do.
I just want to make it clear, Tyrone, my stance is we all do that. And that's kind of what I'm saying is, like, I just gave my example of my mom and even other people that are around me. When you think you're in a professional setting, if you had any home training, your mother taught you, or, you know, you learned from school or wherever you learned to be, you know, how to act in those scenarios. That's what I'm thinking. Like, and again, I don't know her. And for me to sit here and say that's not how she is normally, for all we know, every time she goes home and she chills with her homegirls, this is how she's talking. We don't know that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But in the interviews we see that are far and in between, because they're not all the time, you know, those instances where we see that, we're like, oh, she doesn't sound like she typically does. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just giving her a little benefit of the doubt. You're growing up around these people.
All right. Well, listen, some people are willing to fuck with Iggy Azalea, some are not. I don't fuck with Iggy Azalea. All right. You know what I'm saying? And she's coming off as like Iggy Azalea. But I definitely see the blurred lines as it pertains to, like, New York accent, Black culture, just growing up around people. I know that. Listen, there are some people on this panel that have been accused of thinking they were white because they spoke articulate. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. You know what I mean? So it's not always about how you portray yourself. Sometimes it's about just being a member of the society, of the community you grew up in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I came from my grandma's attic in St. Louis to living in a hood ass area to moving down to Florida where we have a pool. You know what I'm saying? And like lakes and, like, you know, neighborhood watch and HOA, whatever that is. And so, like, I was able to kind of cross these different cultures so I can tell what's one and what's not, as opposed to somebody who may be immersed somewhere and not know the difference until they get out of it. If I had stayed in St. Louis my whole life, I'd be a very different person. All right. So I don't know if Aquafina, if she ever had a chance to kind of get outside of that mindset, but I think that right now what she really needs to do is go to every Black Lives Matter march. She needs to be justice for everybody, and she needs to get on train and like look, man, look, I'm all for the Black community, and I can honestly understand her. She might have said something stupid I don't know what the quote was, whatever this was that Minnie said, that she said something about minstrel shows.
Yeah.
I think what she's trying to do is cape for Black people, but it just comes off weird when you use a quote with.
Well, in that
like,
she used Black suffering to compare to using an Asian accent, and I think, and the thing about like the whole idea of like canceling somebody for stuff like this, nobody's really talking about canceling her. And so many of these things, if people like if Aquafina was to just be like, oh damn, you know what, you guys are right, yeah, it is basically the same thing, and I should probably come to terms with that and maybe do some reckoning. Like that's really like you could just be like, oh shit, you know what, got called out for something, and it's probably right.
Yeah.
And then go on. Like it's this, that's all we have to do. We just have to work to be better when we get called out for our bullshit.
But is it always that case though? And that's why I argue for the people, because I feel like this is me like this would be me. Because if I don't feel like that, why do I have to kowtow just because that's what would be appropriate?
Well,
like,
if that were her saying it, so if she was like, you know what, fuck it, I don't care, like that's what I do, and whatever, like that's my life, then you know she should say that. If that's the way she feels about it. But
that's what you think you should say.
But you developed that way to speak naturally, Ty. This is the equivalent of you having an Asian character that uses a heavy stereotypical Chinese accent because it's a character that you do for a show.
I mean, I've heard all of you, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Stephanie. All I'm saying is that we don't know her personally to sit here and pass judgment that is the case. We are talking about instances, and instances just because they didn't pan out how we think they should have panned out in those moments doesn't determine a person's whole, you know, demeanor or their personality. And that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's the very but that's the point with the cultural appropriation conversation, is that it is only in instances, and when somebody can pick and choose when they use Black culture, then that's where people have an issue with cultural appropriation, because Black folks don't get to choose when they get to be Black. But if other people choose to just jump in and out of Blackness whenever they choose, that's when it becomes sort of an issue. And I've talked about this about myself when it comes to me on stage. I'm a half Black, but I don't know where the line is for me, because I don't present Black. People don't look at me and see a Black dude. So I'm like, well, where's the line for me? You know, like how am I supposed to sound? You know, that kind of thing. And
speak for you. When I look at Tyrone, I see a strong, strapping prince. But
I see a
Black is in there for sure. Nobody looks at Tyrone as like, look at that white boy. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah. But what I'm saying is I have an awareness that okay. if I were to to really lean heavily into what people will call Blaccent, that it may come off insincere and disingenuous, and maybe just trying to take advantage of that moment as best I possibly can. Because I can switch back out of it if I want to, and kind of fly under the radar and maybe not look so Black when it doesn't when it doesn't suit me, or when it doesn't actually benefit me. You know what I mean? And that's where the problem is with cultural appropriation. And again, it's a very nuanced topic, but I think the issue again was just more of her just being like, so much against it for her culture, but okay with using another culture in that situation.
And I'm on board with what Tyrone is saying. I mean, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'm talking from a perspective of growing up there and being around people like this all the time. And so that for me, like a lot of things that we, and this is all person to person, individual basis. But a lot of times when you grow up and you're a product of city life up north, you are bred differently. Your texture is different. Your attitude towards things are different. A lot of people have a I don't give a fuck attitude up top. So yep. when you're addressed or somebody comes at you, your immediate response is I'm ready. I'm ready for it. So this Tyrone comes from a place of understanding and also trying to understand other people and being that guy. And I love him for that. But everybody's not built like that. And that's what I'm trying to say is there are people like in her situation, if somebody said this to her and she didn't feel as though that's something that she was doing, he's saying that, even if you didn't feel like that, you should, just to make people feel better, you should, acknowledge it and be like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. But if you didn't feel like that, then why do I have to apologize for some shit that I didn't do? And that's kind of where I'm taking the stance, where I'm saying, if she comes from Queens, I bet she's out there repping it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, I don't know if she's misappropriating our culture. I don't know. But I mean, these couple of instances, you can make your judgments. I'm just not that guy. I don't judge everybody on a couple of instances. I don't know if I'm around her and I could say I know this about her, then I'll say that, but I don't know.
I'll say this real quick to kind of wrap this up. When it comes to, because what it sounds like you're saying is she intentionally trying to be disrespectful by appropriating Black culture, or is she just being herself and the person she was raised, who was raised in the New York area, and she's just what we used to say is a product of her environment, right? Mm-hmm. Like, she's just, that's how people talk where she's from. Just like if talking about what if, we could have got a completely different Tyrone if Tyrone grew up with a lot of his cousins over there in Manchester, you know what I'm saying? And he might not sound like this Tyrone that we know. Manchester. You know what I'm saying? So let's just keep it real. But I think where Black Twitter is starting to talk up is they're like, listen, bitch, if you know how to use a Black accent, then you know how to use a Black if you know how to use Black accent or Black culture, then you gotta embody the whole thing. And don't use this as a scapegoat when, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to evade doing something that you won't even do for your own culture. Like, how you can do it for us is okay, but it's not okay for y'all. We feel the same way you do about your culture that we feel about ours. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to put this up in the private chat, but somebody, I ain't gonna, I'm just gonna drop what somebody said. Evidently, she used to play trumpet. Evidently, she was trained in classical music at LaGuardia High School. There's somebody dropping some. I mean, they were put in private, so I don't know if they want to be made public or not. But somebody was like, okay,
it was me. Yeah. I stand behind it. Okay, yeah, I did a little research. She played the trumpet in high school, was trained in classical music, describes herself as quiet and more passive in college. And talking about her own voice, says, someone said that I sound like a 58-year-old divorce attorney. I'll take it. Nothing about her personality or what she says implies at all that this Black accent she does is a real part of her natural personality. It is a character and a caricature that she created in order to rap. I can do a Black accent too. Y'all have heard me talk in my natural voice this entire time. If I suddenly try to get real hood, you know what I mean? And like, it's not natural. It's fake. It's a character I can choose to do. It's a character I have done in improv shows as a choice. But to put that on to make a career and then make a point of saying, oh, well, I'm not going to do stereotypes after I've made money off of doing stereotypes. It would be like Tyler Perry saying, oh, I don't believe in, imitating older Black women. I think that's wrong. After he made a career out of it, do what you do, but then don't be a hypocrite and say, I'd never do that when you've done it for another culture. You're not going to convince me that Awkwafina's Black accent is a true part of her identity. It was a character choice.
Yeah.
I wasn't here trying to convince anybody. I'm just saying that there is a possibility. I'm not trying to convince anyone. But ultimately, like if that's the case, cool. I mean, I'm not here to argue that. I'm just saying that, again, when you don't know someone, there's a lot of things. I could sit here, I could look up your high school, I could look up Vince's high school and all of that kind of stuff and see the things that he did. It doesn't necessarily determine the person he became. He played trumpet or clarinet or saxophone in high school, could have been the biggest nerd ever.
Let me stop you right there, bro. If for the whole time you knew me, I was like, hey, yo, what, brethren, on a day after rise, hey, yo, brethren, I got come out, cha, and say, I got burn up the order the ganja and thing, say, and then he was like, well, why don't you just talk Black? Like, ew, like, I wouldn't talk Black, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't do that, you know what I'm saying? And you'd be like, yo, but ain't you Jamaican? But like, no, but I just love reggae, you know what I'm saying? I just love dance hall, and, but I wouldn't do anything, I ain't gonna do the, oh, hey, oh, mamma jamma, oh, hey there, sir, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but what if you never have? What if you never have? Like, and what I mean is, if if nobody in her house speaks Asian, if she's never had.
Oh, she does. She studied and speaks Mandarin. Yeah, she doesn't speak that way. I promise you don't talk that way to her parents.
Right. So look, at the end of the day, bro, Ty, we're not trying to say that she doesn't have an aspect of her that truly does embody Black and hip hop culture authentically without with the intent to be disrespectful towards the culture. I get what you're saying. Like, look, we don't know if this is just a part of her human development. You know what I'm saying? She might have just, had like a bunch of black friends in New York that she used to go to the bus with and catch the dollar van with, and that's just how she talks sometimes, and just a part of her. And so be it. I think what we can all agree on in this particular instance is that where she really fucked up was trying to explain her way out of it. What she probably should have just done is be like, yo, look, I don't know. Okay, bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? Just go full anime. I don't know.
And she has never acknowledged the debt that she owes to Black culture. That's another problem. She's never acknowledged that she built her career off of imitating Black women. And she did.
Yeah. And I think, and I do want to say, I see how it is tough to get into this kind of gray area, because there's a very thin line between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. And it's how we navigate that line that kind of it really leads to these conversations. And these conversations are very important because it helps us to understand ultimately more about each other's cultures and things like that. But yeah, be aware of if your appreciation is starting to, lean over into appropriation.
Yeah. I think that is 100% true, bro. That it is a thin and veiled line when it comes to appropriation and appreciation. And I think that you have to walk that line. I think that she should definitely study the Eminem school of redemption, because Eminem straight up dropped the M-bomb. Like, Eminem straight up said hard R N-word in some of his early rap lyrics. And he has he's had his mea culpa. He's come to the altar of black community. He's had a 4-year Trump tirade. He's done everything he can to try to like get back in good graces with after our boy from the source. What's Benzino?
Benzino, yeah. I remember that.
For all of his racism in his high school, which he basically said he was angry at a black girl for not, responding to him having a crush on her, and he, made a rap lyric about her and said something about it, something about niggers, something. But I mean, he ultimately, and I'm not trying to cape for him, he has his own, demons to fight. But the thing that Eminem always does, is he always pays homage. He's always like Run DMC, LL, you know what I'm saying? He always is like, look, I wouldn't have been nowhere if it wasn't for these cats. Dr. Dre, he mentions Dr. Dre in every song. So there's never been a question as to whether or not Eminem knows where his career comes from. He even says it in his lyrics. He's like, yo, look, to do white music, so, like Elvis Presley and shit, so.
Yeah, to do black music so selfishly and use it to get myself wealthy. Yeah,
yeah. Somebody had the CD, didn't he? Yeah, one time for, time. So, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I mean, I don't think we're going to all agree on whether or not Awkwafina is authentically black, if she's putting on a black scent just for show, or whether or not she should give more attention to black plight and black appreciation. But one thing's for certain is all of us have decided ain't no way in hell, whatever she does, we are not going to see Shang-Chi.
Yeah, watch the movie. Watch the movie.
Fuck that. I don't even know who the fuck Awkwafina, Dasani, Zephyr Hills. I don't give a fuck who you are, man. I'm watching this goddamn movie, and ain't shit you can do to stop it. And speaking of Marvel movie, go ahead, Steph, real quick.
I'll just say real quick. I don't mean to come at you, Ty, either. So this is, I don't want this to come across personal at all. I have strong feelings about women who are not black using black culture to profit and then taking off that costume the moment it's convenient. Kim Kardashian, Iggy Azalea, a bunch of them. It is a tale as old as time. And this, for me, feels like an instance of that, which is why I'm very passionate about it.
It's okay. I mean, I don't feel like you came out. I was just lending a different perspective. And ultimately, I agree with you. And I also agree that there are black people in our community that misappropriate our culture. And do the same exact thing as an Awkwafina. 1 minute you're rapping about, killing and murder and pimping and all of that, but you grew up as a preacher's son and in a house in the middle of suburbia where you never saw any action, never don't have a clean record and all of that. So it's something that's popularized, and it's something that we're going to continue to deal with within our community and outside our community. So I understand.
It just, I don't know what happened, but I love the banter. I love the back and forth. I love how out of order we are. Damn, I didn't know that was gonna. Man, I kind of had
What'd you
this
do, man?
whole jigsaw puzzle thing. All right, let me see. Yaz goes to the right because we wear glasses. Stephanie's on top
Because
because
we
she's a
wear
woman.
glasses. Oh my
I am at the
god.
bottom because they have the show
Only
together.
reason I'm on
And,
top. Damn.
All
Damn.
right,
Do
man.
y'all
So-
hear this shit? So only reason I'm on top. Like, no, I got glasses.
Vince
So,
wanted to put himself between two beautiful women. That's
I'm
what it
being
comes down to.
stereotyped
Hallelujah.
right
Thank
now,
you.
and I'm pissed.
That's
And
exactly
the
what it
show
is.
just took a twist. Let's go.
Stephanie got it right.
The
Yes, yes.
fuck?
All right. Well, this is our longest show. Actually, I think it's our second longest show to date, but it's about to be our longest
last
because
segment, man. Come on.
I'm not leaving without getting everybody's opinion on this. This was important, and thank you, Minnie, for adding the director. Minnie made this into the director's cut of New Blerd Order. Like this is the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Vinny.
Just throw this into the Snyderverse cut for the New Blerd Order.
Sure.
But yeah, that was important, and we wouldn't have spoke so long on it if we didn't have opinions on it. So that's definitely. Oh yeah, and that's a good point too. Yeah, Drake, that is a good point. Your mom's one time for Twitch, one time for our new Twitch watchers,
Yeah.
y'all coming through. And Tyrone did say when we first started on Twitch that Twitch was not no bullshit when it came to the comment section, and you was not lying about that.
Twitch
Wait,
goes
while
out.
we're on this subject real quick, hold on. Did you guys hear that Drake and Kanye releasing a fucking album on the same day on September 3rd, bro? I cannot wait to hear all this controversy. It's gonna be fucking hilarious.
I can't wait to not listen to those albums.
I'm not gonna listen to them. I'm just gonna hear. I'm with you guys. I'm not gonna listen to it, but I can't wait to hear all the
Like, all the
backlash.
drama.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking great. Like it's gonna be so
it's-
hilarious.
It
Breaking
sucks.
news: Kanye's album is $4,675.
Is that true?
No, it's not.
I
true.
can't tell what's true with you anymore.
No, it's not.
Man, all your breaking news is so
It's not true.
convincing.
I'm just saying that he's charging way too much for those Yeezys.
Okay, all right. I'm still looking for Hot Fire to come out from the Titans. So and that's interesting considering they share the same chick at a Kim Kardashian. But the one thing is true is that again, Marvel is still running things, especially when it comes to the universe. Excuse me, to the theatrical universe. So before we go, the last segment that I had, which was slighted for an hour ago, but here it is. Was I wanted to see if there was a list that came out from a site called The Wrap. All right, The Wrap is a news article site that tends to publish things on pop culture, not just nerd stuff, but movies, awards, and all kind of stuff like that. And they dropped the top 60 Marvel movies in their order of depiction. Now, who knows whether or not they have any credibility to rate these movies, and who knows whether or not any of us are going to agree with what the list is. Before we go into that list, I want to spend the last minutes of our time, or however much time it is, going into our ranked Marvel movies and seeing where it fares amidst this list. So as I sit and conjure these things, I would like for you all to start thinking right now your top 3 Marvel movies from 3rd, 2nd to 1st. All right, from 3rd, 2nd to 1st. Now, I didn't want to go first, but I'm going to because I don't think y'all have had enough time to really truly think on this.
We're done. I'm done.
You got yours, Tyrone? I mean, Tyleen. Oh my God, fuck.
You had it earlier.
Yeah,
You don't have the bad tie hat on today.
At the
He's
bottom of
fucking
the
it up.
screen, you can't seem to remember who we
Comedy
are.
Hub wants you to drop that link too. I think that's a good idea. Drop the link to the article so people can check it out.
I will drop the link right quick, and I will put it in the comments. Oh, okay. Now, when I put something in the comments, it normally shows up as like 5 different comments. So
yeah, one for each of the platforms. Yeah,
I will drop the link, but let me drop it first. Let me drop it after we go over it. It's in.
Cool.
I'm gonna hit send on it. But I'll start first. And I'm gonna go with my 3rd. Now, I didn't mean to have my beach towel on cam, but I'm still out here in my hot ass studios area. So I personally think that Enter the Spider-Verse is probably going to be for me. It's going to be number 2. All right, number 2 for me.
Man, just jump right over number 3.
I'm gonna tell you the honest God truth. I'm having trouble kind of landing on what's number 3. But right now I'm going to go with Spider-Man Far From Home. You know, I'm obviously an avid Spider-Man fanatic, and I just think that movie like checked all the boxes. We got to see the first time Peter Parker outside of New York, not even just, I mean, America, period, but yeah, outside of New York. You know, every time Spider-Man leaves New York in the comics, it's always awkward because there's nothing to sling onto. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll see like Spider-Man catching the bus and shit. So it was dope to see like Spider-Man in foreign countries. Number 2, Enter the Spider-Verse. I think honestly, it's a close tie between Enter the Spider-Verse for number 2 and number 1. Because honestly, I would say that it was number 1, with the exception of the fact that it was animated. But even though it was animated, it still didn't take away from the fact that it is more than likely the best Spider-Man script, more than the best Marvel script of all time, for my opinion. But my favorite Marvel movie of all time. Oh shit, I'm lying. Yo, I take back Far From Home, and I put Black Panther at number 3. I'm sorry. Black Panther number 3, Into the Spider-Verse, and then for number 1, Infinity War. Infinity War had everybody, bro. It had everybody. You know what I'm saying? And the freaking to watch Iron Man go up against Mao and I'll take it off your corpse. You know what I'm saying? Like, the children of Thanos. Are you nuts, bro? Like Infinity War, that's me. So Black Panther number 3, Into the Spider-Verse number 2, and then Infinity War for me. Does anybody else have a list? And I'm curious to say, and I'm writing these down, by the way, because I want to compare with what it is on the joint. What's up? Go ahead, Tyrone. I mean, Tyleen. Whatever. Ty number 1. Number 1.
Oh my God. Anyway, number 3, I would go with the Spider-Verse. Miles Morales. I would go with that number 3. Number 2, I would go with Infinity Wars as well. But number 1, there's no way in hell I'm not going with Black Panther as the number 1 movie. Like I don't even understand how you couldn't put, man. Come on,
wow,
that's a classic. That should have been in history. Like 20 years from now, we'll be telling our kids, hey, you need to watch this. You ever heard of the Black Panther? Yeah, like come on, man.
Yeah. Okay. So for you, you're saying number your third one was Spider-Verse. And then the second one was Infinity War. And then number 1 is BP.
Okay. Yeah, Endgame and Infinity War was like kind of like right there, neck and neck for me. But
all right. And what's your name again? Tyrone? Okay. All right, sorry. Anybody else got their list ready?
Can I give you go ahead, Stephanie.
Oh, okay. Tyleen and I are largely in agreement here. My third has to be the Spider-Verse, stellar movie. Second, Endgame. Come on. Almost 20 years making, wrapped everything up. I mean, Infinity War was fantastic, but Endgame was just, oh God, the planet. Just, my mind is blown when I think about how they brought that all together and set up everything else. And I mean, 2 and 1 are neck and neck, but for the culture is got to be Black Panther.
That's right. Hey, for the culture. Your card is intact.
Tyrone, did you have something?
Can I give you my top 5?
Sure.
Okay, Dylon. I had to do the callback. It was the third time it came up. I mean, it's all comedy stuff, you know. Anyway, this is tough. Like this makes me sweaty just thinking about it, because like I love them all so much. But so number 3, I'm gonna say Ragnarok. Ooh. And then I'm gonna say Black Panther for number 2, and then I'm gonna say Endgame for number 1. Because there's nothing that has ever affected me the way the portal scene affected me in that theater the first time. I was like, how do I just bottle this feeling and just eat it and drink it and inject it into my veins and put it under my pillow at night so I could dream about it. Like that moment will be a all-time moment forever.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool.
Yazzie on the end game on the second one too, because they was neck and neck. Infinity War and end game was neck and neck for me, so I'm gonna go end game too, because the death of Tony. You know what I'm saying? If you got that right there is like Black Panther is memorable. We no more Chadwick. Then we lose Tony. Like, yeah, Endgame. Endgame for me is number 2.
Endgame for so what? So Endgame, you're switching out your list.
I'm switching out of Infinity War for Endgame because that that does make sense. That makes sense.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yazzie, what's up?
I'm going to do my top 3 would be for the third one. I'm gonna do Age of Ultron. You guys are.
We should have known. Yeah, why?
Let's be serious, okay? All right. So yeah. Anyway, that's number 3. Number 2 would have to be I would say Black Panther, and then the first one would definitely have to be Endgame, just because, like, no lie, I think I've seen Endgame probably like 20 fucking times since the movie has been out. Like start to finish, like with no, you know what I'm saying, like legit. So I mean, I loved everything about Endgame, the plot, the twist, everything about it. Like I was so ready for it when it came out, and it exceeded all expectations. So that's my number 1. I can't say.
Also, I want to say nobody's wrong. Like all these movies are amazing. Like nobody's wrong here. You can't go wrong.
But Ragnarok, that was a good one. That was going to be my number 3, but I couldn't leave out my true love, Ultron. So
I understand.
Tyrone's such a kindergarten teacher. Like he's trying to give everybody a medal and shit. Like he's
listen,
like,
you know,
we all participated. You know,
yeah, you know,
just shouting. I'm shouting out all these great movies. That's all.
He's the peace mediator. Remember, you know, like oh, you're loved, you're special, your voice is heard. You know,
he's a peacemaker, and he doesn't care how many women, men, and children he has to kill in order to get peace.
I'm a positive person, and I will genocide my way to positivity.
Oh my god,
that's obviously a joke. Yes, thank you for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Stephanie caught it.
Let's do this. So let's see where our list fares with regard to the lists that we were provided. All right.
Are they white people?
I think these are white folks that made this list. I don't know that for a fact. They may have been Asians portraying themselves as black folks. I don't know. But you know, you never know. So there's a consistency. Everybody except me listed Endgame. All right, everybody except me listed Endgame on here in their top 3. The reason I didn't put Endgame on is because I didn't like the way that they did the time travel sequences. I thought it was a little too murky, the psychobabble that they used to explain how they were able to go back, even though I know that that's the multiverse, and that's, you know, the quantum zone is such a clusterfuck of complexities,
because everything else in the Marvel movies are so realistic.
Well, right. I mean, look, bro, why they literally said, like, why don't we just go back and just kill Hitler? You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't we? Because
Hitler has so many movies and TV shows about him already. Okay, he needs to take a break. Okay.
All right. Well, look. Let me have my little rant. All right, Batman hater. Like, if you can hate Bruce Wayne, I can hate the freaking quantum zone theory and bullshit. And I thought it was just weird. Funny. Anyway. So Endgame, as far as it ranks in the top 60 movies, the Wrap actually gave Endgame number. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. No, it's not in the top 3. I can tell you that.
Top 5.
Not in the top 10.
Their list was terrible. Their list
is not in the top 10. Endgame is actually listed. Wow, it's below Ant-Man.
Their shit don't count.
Look, Shang-Chi is on here already, and it hasn't even come out, so that should say something. Oh wow, it's not in the top 20. Oh shoot, we're still going down.
Did you say this was from the Wrap or from the crap? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay. Endgame, y'all, is actually listed on here as, oh wow, I'm going to show this to you so you don't, think that I'm bullshit.
Their list was terrible.
This is bad.
Endgame is listed on here as number 27.
Oh my God!
Throw the whole publication away.
Stephanie's right.
Endgame is number 27 on a list of 60, and you all had it in your top 3. So that just goes to the publication. Let's pick another one on here. Okay, another outlier was Tyrone chose Ragnarok. All right, which was I'll honestly say was good. For some reason, I like the Hulk in that movie, and I love the character played by my man from Jurassic Park,
Grandmaster.
Yeah, the Grandmaster. I love him. But for some reason I like Dark World a little bit more. I think because I like the kind of Matrix element of it. You know what I'm saying? The in and out of the portals. But as far as Ragnarok goes, let's see where you rank on this list, my friend. All right, let me see. All right, well, right now it's not. All right, it's below. It's not in the top 10.
You're gonna.
Whoa! Oh shit! It's below the Punisher. And I don't mean like
The Punisher TV series?
No.
The Thomas Jane Punisher.
The Thomas Jane.
We should just stop talking about this stupid ass list. This is insane. What the hell?
It's actually below the Dolph Lundgren Punisher. If you even remember,
throw that shit out.
I am confident that they just wrote the names of Marvel movies, shook them up in a bucket, and then pulled them out, and that's how they made the list.
All right, hey, there's a possibility. I'm still going down. It's not in the top 20. Oh shit!
No,
All right, how far are we going down here? It's below the first Hulk. Whoa! All right, wow. Ragnarok. Whoa!
Are you sure they're not listing these movies alphabetically? What the hell is happening?
It's below Ghost Rider so far. Oh shit! Wow. Okay. It's below. Whoa.
Ghost Rider. Was there another? Was there like a Leonardo DiCaprio Ghost Rider that I missed
I'm
or something?
just about to ask that.
Their list is
what fucking movie did they see? Because I want to see that extended cut.
Wow. Yeah, it's below the Nick. Whoa. Oh yes, I'm looking at Dolph Lundgren's Punisher from 1989. Which I mean is before my time. Like, I didn't even look. Is at 51. I still haven't gotten to. Oh damn!
You must have missed it.
They rated that one above the new Punisher with Thomas Jane. Oh damn!
Yeah.
We should. I feel like this is. We should have made a Bizarro top 3 list after this list. Like we should have made a Bizarro World top 3 where I could absolutely list Ghost Rider 2 as my number 1 movie. You know what I mean? Like that's what we should have done with this list.
Yo, I hate to tell you this, my friend, but your Thor Ragnarok did not rank on this list.
That's
how we know it's trash.
I'm fine.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm glad. After hearing that list, I'm glad that I disagree with that list.
Oh my god! All right, don't kill the messenger.
How did they not put Ragnarok on there? That movie was hilarious.
Ragnarok was hilarious. It definitely was. I mean,
and it was supposed to be hilarious. That was the best part about it. Like everybody was funny in that shit. Not just not just Thor, not just Hulk, not just Valkyrie. Everybody was fucking hilarious.
Okay, so I may have fibbed a little bit.
Are you reading the list upside down?
Yeah, my bad. And evidently, your movie ranked number 8.
Number 8? Oh, how did you miss that? I was in the top
10. Because you know me, I only look at the fan art, and I saw looking for the fan art. Yeah. I only look at the pictures. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't see Thor, and I didn't, I didn't necessarily put.
But that's good. That's a sound rating.
Now we know.
Yes. Thank you, Tessa Thompson, for distracting me from the actual. What's another outlier we had on this list? Let me see. Okay, you all said Endgame. You all said Black Panther. Let's see. Oh, Ultron. Ultron is an outlier. We did say Ultron. Let's see where Ultron ranks on this list. Oh, it's somewhere here below Howard the Duck, the original. Let's see. Hold on, now actually it's not that far. Looks like it's not in the top 20. Okay, Iron Man 2. Okay, we're in the top 30 now. Wolverine, it's below the Wolverine. It's below Iron Man. It's below Captain Marvel.
Wait, it's below X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Which leads me to believe that it's probably in the top 5, and Vince didn't.
Right.
I can't believe it's.
I'm sorry, it was number 1.
There should be nothing below X-Men Origins Wolverine. That movie was like a literal assault on all of our eyes and brains.
You do Wolverine so bad, but we did.
I didn't do that movie. They did that movie.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Short of the bullshit, short of the fucked up version of Deadpool. I mean, that Wolverine. I mean, at least we got Sabretooth was better done in
that garbage ass Gambit that they tried to pass off.
Yeah, the Gambit. No, oh boy, that played Gambit though. He fit that role. You know what I'm saying? At least the dude
garbage
that
ass
him,
Gambit.
You don't have to take this one outside.
right. Well, you'll be happy to know, Yaz, that your Infinity War Age of Ultron ranked 39 amongst all 61 of these ranked, which is below Avengers, which is below Blade, and even below Ghost Rider 2 Spirit of
They got
Vengeance.
Blade as 37. I mean,
Even below New Mutants, which I don't even I refuse to watch at
that
this
made
point.
the list.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
on the list.
man,
It's on the list. What does it say about it? It's absolutely serviceable little piece of entertainment, and there's lots of novelty in its overall strange vibe. But after years of the delays and reshoots, you could definitely feel the hand of the group's focus. The focus
groups,
a bit
yeah.
too much. Okay,
so they invited a bunch of people who don't know what they're talking about, and they were like, "How do you like this movie?" And they were like, "I don't know. It needs more Superman." And they were like, "We'll see what we can do about it."
Fair enough. Okay, so we're down to like our final. We all basically said Into the Spider-Verse, Endgame, Black Panther. These are some of the ones that we all agreed on. So let's go with Black Panther. Where did Black Panther rank? Oh Lord, if this doesn't rank in the top 10, then we will close this segment down immediately.
In the top five, man.
Okay. All right. Where do y'all think Black Panther landed?
In the top 5, it better.
Oh yeah,
I will march on this publication.
I don't think. Yeah, I
There will
feel
be
like
an
this.
uprising.
I feel like this will be the moment where they actually redeem themselves in some small way. So yeah, I'm gonna say I'll say top 5. I'll say they listed it at 4.
Wow, somebody
nailed it.
Listen, that it is.
I promise I didn't read that.
Exactly number 4. And it says held back a little by being saddled with a standard origin movie issue.
Bullshit. That's a lie.
That.
Yeah, it's a lie immediately.
Yeah, I don't think it was held back at all.
And it wasn't even a standard origin story.
Yeah, it really was not at all, because we didn't actually get an origin story. This wasn't. It was anything but. If anything, Civil War was the origin story. But
right,
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Introducing audiences around the world of Wakanda isn't a quick and easy task, and it could. Yes. I'm not going to read it, but you should definitely read this. I'm going to go ahead and post it in the group now, since we're coming down to the last of it. And we also had on this. We also had. Into the Spider-Verse was listed on here. So why don't we just do this right now? I'm just going to go ahead and list the top 5 movies that it has, and then we can go ahead and wrap this segment up. So evidently, since we know number 4, the one right behind it, Black Widow. Can you believe that shit? Can you believe that shit, bro?
What?
Black Widow.
Wow.
I liked Black Widow, but I don't think it's top 5.
Yeah.
Nah, it's definitely not above Infinity War.
Oh my God.
Bruh, Infinity War kills Black Widow. I'm sorry. I don't know who the fuck. This is some freaking ScarJo fan. Some freaking
This was a biased ass list.
Hell yeah. All right. But then again, we got number 4. We got Black Panther. Number 3, Logan. I take issue with that, man. I mean, Logan probably gets top 20. But number 3, bitch, get the fuck out of here.
That was a good ass movie, though.
It was a good movie. I don't know if it was better than Black Panther, but
I don't know if it was better than Black Panther. It's definitely top 5, but not better than Black Panther, like for sure.
I don't even give it top 5, honestly.
It was a good movie. I cried, nigga. It was a good movie.
Damn. Okay.
Also bald, yes.
Yeah, all right. It was okay. Into the Spider-Verse. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. Because like I said, I would put it in the top 5. But I would put my top movie, Marvel movie of all time is Infinity War. It goes without saying. There's nothing better to me than that scene when Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Hulk and Wong go into the streets of New York to battle Ma and the children of Thanos. That is just it's Wong, you're invited to my wedding. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't get no better than that. But number 1 leaves me a little bit perplexed. The Winter Soldier as the very best of all Marvel movies. What say we? Are we intrigued? Are we upset? Are we disappointed? Are we like, what the fuck?
It actually gives me some insight into like how they use this list, because like Winter Soldier was a great movie, and like as far as just like not just superhero movies go, but like films go, period, like this is, you know, that movie stands up with like film, just like generally speaking. It was great. So I think that it must be like they're looking at like very technical film shit when they're ranking these movies, and I can understand that. Like,
so it's more like Academy-esque, less like, you know, it's more like the in-depth movie.
I think what they're looking for is like super solid stories with no, you know, no kind of plot holes or anything like that, and looking for real tight writing and cinematography, and you know, they're looking for that kind of real technical filmmaking stuff. That has to be the case, like, because
that makes sense, because they just had Logan as number 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that would make sense. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
I guess I could understand that if they're looking at it from a movie critical standpoint, not just from a fanboy standpoint. You know what I mean? Because we might just be geeking out because they're some of our favorite characters, and we like to see the way that they're, you know, depicted on screen. They may be looking at. I frankly, if I was going to go with the Captain America, I would go with Civil War. Obviously, I mean, well. Not only a Spider-Man in it, but I mean, freaking, you had the whole. I mean, that whole Civil War saga in the comic books was so long, and they crammed it into that movie. But we got to see our heroes go up against each other. We got to see an explosive Ant-Man. Iron Man lost his War Machine broke his back as a result of one overzealous Vision firing off into the sky. We kind of, you know, it was remarkable. So I mean, Winter Soldier wasn't as memorable for me. You know, I mean, Bucky, you know, shout out to you, but I don't know.
Those action scenes were really
he killed them shits.
Those action scenes were awesome.
Yeah, if you haven't rewatched Winter Soldier in a little while, it's worth, like, that one is one that it's up there with Ragnarok and stuff for me, because like I'll throw them on and just rewatch them randomly.
Right,
they're just great. Yeah.
All right. Well, before we go real quick, I just thought we could go down memory lane real quick and look at some of these older Marvel movies that were horrible. Like we sit and talk today about how much we love Marvel, but some of these movies had no business ever hitting ever going mainstream. And one of them was goddamn this Ghost Rider shit. I was so excited for Ghost. I thought Nick Cage would have been a great Ghost Rider. I still think he made a decent Ghost Rider, even though he's a little old for that part. But why did that movie suck so bad? And why did another one suck even worse?
I didn't even know they made the second one.
They made a second one, and I thought it was gonna be better, and it was not, and it was terrible. But if you think that's bad, then you haven't lived until you've seen Elektra. Has anybody ever seen Elektra? Like, Elektra is on this list.
That was rough.
That was a bad movie for sure.
Did you even know that Elektra was a movie, Stephanie? You probably didn't even know.
I'm a Jennifer Garner fan, so yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the one. And they tried to build that was the first one of Marvel's first attempts to like co-adopt the movie, because she was in Daredevil. You know what I'm saying? And then she got her own movie. Oh, Daredevil. By the way, there's Daredevil. And that movie was in here. The Ben Affleck version of Daredevil was ranked 56. So yeah, before we sit here and talk about Marvel being so great and do no wrong, let us not forget about the skeletons they left in the closet, like Ben Affleck as Daredevil, and then Jen Garner as Elektra, who we saw reprised in a role in the Daredevil series, which I thought was actually pretty dope. We're still live, bro. Sorry, I know this is weird, man, but we're not going to be in another couple minutes.
Vince doesn't want to leave because this is last show for a little while. Vince doesn't want this to end.
Yeah, man,
I think it's sweet, Vince.
It is
that we're going.
No, Lisa, I can't stand Ben Affleck either. Don't worry, he is a horrible actor. He needs to give up acting and just be happy that he got some good roles, but he's horrible. I agree with you, Lisa. Horrible. I can't watch it. Literally, if people tell me that there's a movie coming out and Ben Affleck's in it, I'm like, God damn, why did they ruin that shit? Like, for real? I get so upset.
At risk of extending this, which I'm not, Ben Affleck is good in everything but comic book movies. He was phenomenal in The Town, phenomenal in Good Will Hunting. He was phenomenal in Jersey Girl.
He actually had
that was a good movie, Jersey Girl.
He had a movie called The Accountant, which was
he killed The Accountant. He was actually, and that was low key comic booky.
Yeah,
Darkseeker just dropped The Phantom, and that was an awesome movie. I love The Phantom. That was a throwback. Yes.
The Phantom's not. That wasn't Ben Affleck. That was
that was Billy Zane.
Yeah, Billy Zane from Titanic. Yeah. So
you white, you Ben Affleck. What was it that kid said in Role Models? Dark Secret thinks every white dude is Ben Affleck. That's cool,
man. Anyway, yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Well,
and I want to say this really quick.
Phantoms.
Happy Ben, Ben with Jen is a different Ben than the Ben that you saw in Batman, overweight, not fit, all of that kind of stuff. So
I get that, but
I just want to say, women, a good woman can change a lot. And Ben is coming back as Batman or whoever he's gonna play, and he will be good. Promise you.
Okay. I'll be here waiting to tell you I told you so, but okay.
And my bad, Dark Secret. It was Phantoms, not the Phantom.
Phantom. Yeah, that is for some reason operating under the assumption that Jennifer Lopez is a good woman. I am.
Oh shit!
I don't believe so. I remember she stepped out on Diddy and like. I'll never forgive J-Lo for leaving Diddy when he was running from the police. I will never forgive him. I've always taken that personally. I literally have. Like I've been like, yo, bitch, are you supposed to be riding die chick? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny because like I'm the opposite. I never forgive J-Lo for dating Diddy's goofy ass. That dude.
Can we just pull up like how many men like J-Lo has actually been with, like real quick, and then just.
Oh yeah. Let's rate the top 61.
Let J-Lo have her fun. Let J-Lo have her fun.
I still think she had no business using the M word, but that's just me. That's another topic for another day.
Oh well, but she's from the block and she knows the locks. You know what I'm saying? So
oh my god, you did not.
I'm not fooled by the rocks that she's got.
Well done, well done. Well, look, man, I think we've said a lot, probably too much. And now on our 4th hour, maybe a good time for us to end our little broadcast that normally goes just 2 hours or so. I want to personally thank Stephanie for joining us on this long, wild ride of ours. Yes. Thank you so much, Stephanie. You have been stellar. I hope that you will become a family member, perhaps. And stick around. I don't know if you got to go immediately, but we have a little after show banter that we like to do uninhibited for our Patreon. So, I mean, I know we haven't had a bathroom break yet. But yeah, after we end the broadcast, we'll be able to go. Tyrone, as always, it's always good to see you, my friend. Tylene,
no problem,
as always.
Man. No problem. It was good to be here today. I don't know about you, Tyrone, or you, Tyrone, or even you, Tyrone. Hey, we all had a good time today. We all did. All 4 of the Tyrones that were here today. All 4 of them.
I sure did. Hey, I did send an email said 60 to 90. I said, or for longer, if we vibe it.
Stephanie's over there like, it's Sunday, damn it. Like, what the hell's
going on? Anyway, Yaz, always, of course, our queen. Thank you so much for being here, vibrant, and always providing insight for subjects and of course being our meme queen and our merch queen, and I mean the hard work that goes into posting that stuff nobody will ever know. So thank you kindly as always. I unfortunately, everybody, am going to be venturing onto a Starship Enterprise and boldly go where no one has gone. I'm just playing. I'm going on Carnival. I got to go back to work at sea. I'm going to do my very best to kind of attend the shows in the next few weeks, but I leave the keys to the car in the faithful hands of Yaz, Ty, and Tyrone, whichever one of them is which. I don't know. And hopefully everything will still be
right. That's all that matters. We know who Yaz.
Yes. The black girl.
We're not switching Yaz up with the guys, right?
Oh. Yeah. What's up, Jess? So anyway, yeah. So I'll never get Yaz mixed up. But I'm still gonna try to pop in. But yo, real quick, man, we've done a lot. We've accomplished a lot in the few months that we looked. Stephanie, we started our first broadcast was December 30th in 2020. And since then we have created merchandise. We've got logos. We did a panel at MegaCon. We had a booth at MegaCon. We have forged, thanks to Tyrone, a relationship with Comedy Hub, which has helped increase our viewership and made it possible for us to learn and meet some of the lovely folks like Matt Abbin and Dark Secret up in
Seriously Black. Shout out Seriously Black.
Yes.
And
Had a
Zilla.
special shout out to Seriously Black, man. Dropping
Yeah,
all the
Seriously Black
Yeah.
MVP
Oh
for the
my
day.
God.
Yeah, big deal, man. We definitely got it. Thank you for all of our new YouTube watchers and all of our Twitch watchers. Thank y'all so much, man. I hope that you all will share this content as well. And Lisa,
Lisa will never
I mean,
forget you. You are an honorary
Lisa is
Blerd.
our- Lisa
Let's be
is-
serious.
Lisa has not missed the show, and she's
Yes,
seen us in
top
person. And that's my old high school buddy. Thank you so much, Lisa, for always being so in tune. Let
Yes.
me try to wrap this up before we hit the 4-hour mark. My name, of course, like I said, is Taylor. And as I always say to you guys, be your authentic self. Wherever you go, whatever you do, be your authentic self. Because if you're not being your authentic self, then you being fake. And in all that you do, if you a geek, make sure wherever you go, you let that geek flag fly. See if I can hit the button.
Fighter 2, I just really hate Zangief, only Ken and Ra. You, I find it hard to be Blanca, keep a wee ninja hanging and our uncle album banging. If you negative in energy, then stay out the vicinity. Yeah, them niggas over there. Yeah, now look at what I wear.
Oh, excuse me.
Damn, I meant to hit the button. Oh, fuck. Oh shit, we're still man. Hold on. I don't want to go so bad.